y'all make sure y'all share this video and make sure y'all subscribe to All Viral Access Media. You know the vibes.
They thought we forgot, but we never forget. This one's for the rules. We built this land from dust and tears for 100 years, and we still here. They write new rules, but they don't see every freedom they got came off you and me. We planted seeds, they took the bloom. We lit the flame, they left the room. But we back now, know the sky. The spirit's woke, we realize all we want is what we earn. That sweat and blood, yeah, that table turn. You can't buy culture, can't fake that fight. This is our day, this is our ride. We happy day. Say it loud, say it strong. We the heartbeat that's been here all along. Foundational Black Americans, stand tall. We ain't begging for nothing, we built that all. Born from pain and grace, you can see the truth written in our face. We the soul, the sound, to fight the flame. Foundational Black Americans, say our name. They love our rhythm, but they dodge our blues. Use our voice when it fits their news. They take our sound, but not our scars. We the backbone, we the scars. Now the veil is gone, the mask is clear. We see the game, we know what's here. No more silence, no more lies. We lift that flag and watch it rise. Rise up. We the ones that made this nation breathe. Our pain turned to power. Our roots are trees. We the world. It's rhythm and grace now, and now we reclaiming our rightful place. Can't copy courage, can't steal pain. You can't inherit soul by changing names. Our story ain't done, it's the revival. We guard the gate, it's about survival. We FBA, say it proud, say it loud. The world dances on what we vow. Foundational Black Americans, still we stand, still we fight, still we demand. Every block, every song, we've been right here all along. The soul of a people strong and free. Foundational Black We the first, we the rule, we the fire. Still rising, still here. Foundational Black American.
Listen, this is not a debate, and it's not about race. This is about a debt owed to the descendants of enslaved whose labor built this country. For over 200 years, wealth was extracted, no payment, no restitution, and now we're being told to wait, to study, to discuss? No, we're not taking or asking anymore. We are demanding what is owed. Direct compensation, no distractions. The question is simple. Will they pay the debt or keep delaying justice? And also, Ghanian president and delegation standing Negro Burial Ground and speaking on reparations without centering foundational Black Americans, that's disrespectful. That ground represents a specific people and a specific debt. You don't broaden that claim, you honor it. This is Thorough Black Talk. Let's get into it. Family, I hope you all are ready. We got a lot to discuss tonight. A lot has happened, but I'm glad that you are here to catch up, to find out what happened in this last 7 days since we seen you. So buckle up, tell somebody to tell somebody it's going down. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk Worldview with your Sister K Fighter, Brother Tad, Sister Marcia, Brother Blacksmith, and our Sister Brooke, and President Devon from the U.S. Freedmen's Project. A lot has happened in the last 7 days. Shout out to Mike Larry, All Viral Access Media, for that beautiful, beautiful song that we play on our introduction. Shout out to him. You can get the whole album if you reach out to All Viral Access Media. He'll send you the link to get the entire album. And the entire album is a dedication to foundational Black Americans. So before we get into it, while the team get ready, let me give some shout outs real quick. Sister Tanisha Murdoch, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Glad you Black with us, sis. We gonna buckle up tonight, boy. We got a lot to discuss. Big Russ, Philly in the building. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, fam? Quentin, what's happening? What's happening? B1. Sister Joyce, Brother Monty, Suffolk County on the check-in. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? It's about to go down. It's about to go down. Yeah, they was plotting. But they effed around and found out. Shout out to Sister Farnessa, Alabama on the check-in. What's happening? Sister Aruba, 927, Brooklyn in the house. Doggy Diamond TV Mars. What's good? Buckle up. Rich, nice. The West Coast in here. We heavy. Let's get ready. Bilal, what's good? Yes, indeed. It's going down tonight. It's going down. We have so much. Shout out to Brother Bruce. You know, y'all see him in the chat. We got to meet him in person at the New York Reparations hearing on Staten Island this Saturday. So shout out to Bruce. Glad to check out with some of the family who watched the program. Yes, indeed. New York, Amy, what's happening? Brother Blacksmith, he behind the scenes and in the chat. But I want you all to know that this foundational Black American Renaissance is taking off heavy. This delineation movement is taking off heavy. And we are a thorn in everybody's side who are not on the right side. Now, the right side is our side. You know, there was, like I said, a delegation of the Ghanaian president who pulled up to the Negro Burial Ground, laid a wreath, and then trucked his behind over to the United Nations, begging for reparations, as if he's the victim, as if Ghana was the victim. But he effed around and found out. And all those Pan-African fools that was up there with him, they effed around and found out. Al Sharpton, Ron Daniels. Let me tell you about this conflict of interest. Brother Black, you ready? Before I go in, Brother Blacksmith up on the Brooklyn Bridge by way of the BX.
What's up, my K Fighter? How you doing today?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
I want to listen because you in the hot spot. I'm not. So I'm going to listen to everything you say. When you're ready for me, I'm right here. Go in, please.
I'm ready because, people are coming out and saying, Candace Owens is playing herself. You got some Black people who come out who say they work with her and she playing herself, going against NDAs and a whole bunch of stuff. And then we had the plane crash into a fire truck here at LaGuardia Airport, was shut down. Did you hear about that, Brother Black?
Of course. And now supposedly ICE is supposed to be taking over from TSA, correct?
Yes.
I heard about it. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
I just heard.
Here's the thing, Brother Black, because, people just don't think. They fly off of sound bites, and all reason and logic goes out the window. Let me be perfectly clear. ICE has always and will forever be at every airport, international flights, every border entry. ICE stands for Immigration Customs Enforcement. Now, if you ever been on an international flight, you got to see immigration and customs. What they are doing is filling in for TSA agents who have not shown up to work because they aren't being paid right now due to the Democrats holding up the bread. They holding up the bread. They want to have trans surgeries, give more money to these African nations for LGBTQ stuff, birth control, and all kind of stuff, so that illegal migrants could keep getting bread. This is what the Democrat Party is holding up. The government shutdown. They are the ones who are holding it up. All y'all got to do is just read. Just read a little bit, and you'll see it clear. So, all these people in the uproar, ICE has always been there. And you got these politicians, Brother Black, like Hakeem Jeffries and all of them saying they shouldn't be in the airport, and they rely on people being stupid. They rely on you being dumb. Like I said, you've been on any international flight. When you get off, and it don't matter the country, when you get off, you see immigration first. Then you go through customs. Okay? They've always been there, goddammit. So don't be dumb. All right? B1, B1, B1. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Sister Marcia, are you ready? Let's get Sister Marcia, Africans on the Rise, up on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Peace, family. Happy Blacktastic Thursday. It's good to see everyone again. Hope the chat is doing well and powerful. And Sister Keisha, how you feeling?
I'm good. It's been an eventful week. It's been an eventful week. Yeah. James Smalls was out there too. With Ron Daniels being out there with them, there's a conflict of interest. And that's why I say these folks are so diabolical. He's on the Reparations Commission, but he's over there with the Ghanaians talking about getting reparations for Ghana. What part of the game is this? As if Ghana didn't have a role. And I see all of these folks out there champion this delegation. Now, I want you to actually think. Let's say they were giving reparations. You think Ghana going to give you some bread? I just want to show of hands. If you believe Ghana will give you some bread, put a 1 in the chat. If you think Ghana is full of SHIT, put a 2 in the chat. Because this is crazy. This is crazy. And so, Jamani Williams, who is New York City public advocate, his wife is the legal counsel for the commission. All of these conflicts of interest. Nobody sees nothing wrong with nepotism here. This is crazy. And like Brother Divine always tells us, Ron Daniels and IBW24 try to write themselves into the bill so they could get money off the top. You think they was going to give you some bread? You a damn liar. But I want to know, because a lot of y'all know these folks are sellouts. You been knew about Sharpton. Y'all been knew about it. But y'all don't protest against Sharpton or his minions from the National Action Network. Y'all don't think y'all going against Tamika Mallory and my son? They grimy too. Now I don't see y'all. Yeah, y'all know, see the tools? They ain't giving y'all nothing. They ain't giving y'all nothing. So disrespectful. Brother Rich says, why would Ghanian be asking for reparations for chattel slavery? Exactly. They were complicit in it. We talked about it on this program, how vicious the Salaga slave market was. That no white man ever been to the Salaga. That's what their historians said. The Salaga slave market was so big, it'll take you 3.5 hours just to go through it, to walk around it. Now imagine that. They were vicious. But you know, a lot of people believe a lot of nonsense out here. So, you know, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. Yeah, time to get off the commission. Anyone who was out there also needs to lose political seats. Yeah. Yeah, like Tiki Taki, Jemani Williams. He had no business in that seat. Let me tell you how much of a liar he is. Last year, early last year, or the year before, me and Sister Brooke, we went to a reparations conversation at the Brooklyn Historical Society. And Jemani Williams was on the panel. This mother effer is talking about, you know, trying to grandfather clause himself into our claim during this conversation. But yesterday, you know, not yesterday, Tuesday, when the family pulled up on him, he tried to give you that benign neglect conversation. But they wasn't having it. Peace to you, Vengeance. What's happening? What's happening? Brother Terrell, what's good? What's good? What's good? Glad you rocking out with us. But this is what's been going on. So I want to start out with the reparations hearing that took place on Staten Island. Now, I want y'all to picture the scene here, okay? We're on Staten Island. The reparations hearing took place on the same block that Eric Garner was unalived on. We get in there to this community space. I'll just leave it at that. No mention of Eric Garner whatsoever. Now, when you're on the block, they got all this red, black, and green painting all over the place. And we met some cool people out there too. Shout out to them. Took some pictures. Shout out to Brother Isaiah. Pulled up wearing American flag. Boy, I tell you, boy, just his presence pissed people off. But sticking back to the subject at hand. We get there and we listen to the historical piece. There's a woman on Staten Island who, in my opinion, gave a good presentation on Black people on Staten Island. Then you had an economist, come in and talk about, you know, how it hindered us. So then we get to the spin, where people come up and you know, you might need a trigger warning. You might. But the people pull up to give their testimony, and one female who at the Schomburg, when they had the hearing there, said that she was a Jamaican. That's what she said. And she was adamant, you know, about Jamaicans being a part of that claim. It was so heated at the Schomburg, you know, I thought Sister Brooke was going to break her jaw. That's number one. I thought Sister Paris and DW was going to break her jaw. but it didn't happen. I thought that Professor or Dr. Greg Carr and Ray Winbush was going to get their head busted. That's how heated it was, because they were so disrespectful to the lineage at their hearing. And so I remember this woman who said she was Jamaican, but on Staten Island, now she's from Low Country, South Carolina. This destiny swapping is real. South Carolina. So then I see who she's working with and who she's sitting there, because, I sit in the back so I can peek the scene. Sister Brooke will tell you I like to sit in the back so I can watch things. On the right of us, you got representatives from the National Action Network. And they came in conversing and mingling with a group called New Yorkers for Reparations. Some white people in it, tethers and all kinds of raccoons in this group. So I'm watching and I'm looking around, and whenever Brooke, Brother Divine, myself, when we pull up, people get mad. You can see this woman from the National Action Network, she was so bothered. Brooke came up to give her testimony, and all the woman kept saying was, "It's not a competition." What the hell are you talking about? Brooke is giving her testimony. What the hell are you talking about? With your old tired raggedy dress. You're a doctor and you look like shit. That's what I wanted to tell her. But she was so disrespectful with her hard, crunchy wig. She was out of pocket. Then you had one of the reparation commissioners dip out. As soon as the presenters were done, she didn't even stay for the testimony. She was out. She was out the door. So then you have Ron Daniels sitting there looking confused, like he don't know where he at. Then you have this, when I tell you they try to stack the deck against us, they try to stack the deck against us. One of the presenters was Julianne Malveaux. Y'all know who she is, right? Y'all know who Dr. Julianne Malveaux is. Another Democratic shield. You've seen her on MSNBC. Let me see. I'm gonna get a picture for what she used to look like. All right, I'm gonna show a picture of what she used to look like. Then I'm gonna show you what she looked like now, because y'all gotta get the full picture of what we had to deal with here. All right. So this is what she used to look like. All right, Sister Marcia said, yeah, she know who she is, right? All the while she vying for a job. She takes up most of the commentary. It was so bad. She just kept rambling and rambling on about the same goddamn things over and over and over, right? So this is what she looks like now. And she's rambling on about hold on, let me get the team up in here. Brother Divine, Sister Brooke, y'all ready? Because I'm about to go in. So I want to make sure I get y'all in here first. Sister Brooke, reparation activist, agitator, disaggregation, agitator, delineation agitator. You hear me? Sister Brooke, welcome to the Brooklyn Bridge. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Hello, everybody. Before we get started, hello, Sister Marcia. Glad to have you today. Hello, Brother Black. How you doing over there? Hello, Sister Keisha. I'm always happy to be here with you. My sister in arms. Let's get it, because I'm ready to go in.
I know. Let me give Brother Divine. Also, Brother Tad will be joining us later.
Yay, I missed that.
Yes. Brother been doing a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, the U.S. Freedmen Project's president, very own Divine, up on the Brooklyn Bridge. Our advocate for disaggregation. Our lobby for disaggregation and delineation. Up on the Brooklyn Bridge. Welcome, Divine. What's happening?
Family, what's going on? What's good? Sister
What's
Brooks,
good,
Sister
President
Marcia,
Divine?
Brother Black, and big sister Keisha OG is in the building on the bridge.
Triple OGGG.
Yeah. So we just filling in the family about, because we had to represent Brother Divine heavy, at this hearing.
Yes.
But it was so, when I don't know, I thought I was looking like a crackhead. My eyes was just darting all around the room. Because there was so many provocateurs that was in that room on each side of us. So I was just saying, the National Action Network was working in tandem with another organization that was there, New Yorkers for Reparations. Now, Brooke, you want to tell the people before I play this rat face lady, what you witnessed there before we got into our testimonies?
So, yes, this woman just kept going, like you said. The woman who gave the presentation on, the history of slavery and the badges and the incidents and badges of slavery thereof, she did a great job. Like, I'm not even gonna front. I enjoyed the presentation. She came with facts, figures, pictures, articles, everything. It was very well done. Bravo to her, right? I did, catch a little tinge of her trying to make it about redlining and, in order to help other people to insert themselves in our claim. But like I said, for the most part, she was about the history, the facts, and I learned a lot of things about Staten Island that I didn't know before, right? So now moving on. When Julianne Malveaux came up there, first of all, her PowerPoint looked like she did it on her phone in the car on the way there. It was not well researched. She didn't have no pictures, no facts, no figures, no nothing. She had a whole page of notes. I don't know what she did on those notes. It's probably with scribble scrabble. Okay. Because it didn't make no sense. She was just sitting up there talking and pontificating out of her behind. Talking about how, she snuck out the house to go to the jazz clubs and her mother told her sisters to lock the door on her and make sure that she couldn't get in the house, and she laid out on the lawn, and the neighbors called her, "Come on, I don't care." She turned this into a all about me fest. And this is about reparations, delineation. Well, they not about delineation, but this is about reparations and, the history of slavery in New York. She didn't know nothing about Staten Island. She started talking about Harlem. You know what I'm saying? She was just a mess, and she was all over the place. When they introduced her, they said that she's on like 5 networks, MSNBC, the CNN, blah, 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 blah. They ran down the list. She was vying for a job. She sat there and she talked about, and here's the thing. She talked about Palm Springs, California. And I actually know a little bit about Palm Springs, California. I lived there for a short amount of time, okay? So she talked about the fact that Palm Springs, California got reparations. But see, the reason why they like to bring up that particular situation is because they got reparations for a specific situation. They did not get reparations for slavery. They got reparations because it was a group of people, and they weren't all Black people. That's another reason why they like to bring it up. It was a group of people, Black and Hispanic people that lived in this particular area. And then they literally like pushed them off the land. They burned them off the land. They set a fire and the people had to move. And so they got reparations. So not again, let's talk about this. Here's what they don't want to talk about is the fact that not everybody in the city of Palm Springs got reparations. Only the descendants of those who lived in and on the property that were burned out got reparations. See, they don't want to talk about that. It was a lineage-based reparations, right? So She worked on that case, supposedly. That's what she said. So now she was vying for a job, talking about, well, I helped them over there. I can help you over here if you want to hire me. She's looking for a job, right? So that was obvious. So she kept talking, and she felt like because the professor or the woman who went in, who actually had scholarship, talked for 30 minutes, she thought she should get 35. For what? Why? Why should you get 35 minutes? You don't have, your presentation looks like shit. It looks like you typed something on your phone in the car on the way here. She had 1 or 2 slides with like 5 points on it. The font wasn't nice. No background, no nothing. Like I said, it looked like she did that shit on her phone in the car on the way there. What kind of presentation was this? But she felt, because I'm on NBC and I'm on CNN, that she should get 35 minutes. That was annoying. So then they tried to tell her, okay, you got to start wrapping it up. Oh, well, why are you gonna tell me to wrap it up? You ain't tell her to wrap it up. Because she was actually coming with scholarship, and they planned for that. She came, her PowerPoint presentation was uploaded ahead of time. See this? Look at that.
This is the trash that she came with.
This is the trash that she came with. Like I said, look like she did that shit in the car on the way there. And that's what is it.
Look at this.
She didn't even go through all the slides. She only showed 2.
No,
I ain't even this many.
And she said she wasn't gonna go through all of them. But this is it.
Because she was just gonna talk out her behind. That's why. Because she knew she was there to talk out her behind. She wasn't gonna talk about no scholarship. Talking about she had all these notes, all these papers. To talk about what? Your mama? And how, you know what I'm saying? People say you in menopause. I don't care about that. Look, that's your own problems. You know what I'm saying? And no tea, no shade to those in menopause, but that's not what this is about.
Right.
And so then, she felt like, then she talked about she was going to hit Dr. Jenkins. I said, Lord, Jesus, what is this? What is happening here? This is turning into something else. And Dr. Jenkins was just like, oh, it's okay. I would never do anything to you. All right, Dr. Jenkins, I'm trying to be nice to you, but you're making it hard. Anyway, so then, so shout out to one of the founding members of the U.S. Freedmen Project, our guest, Dr. Reverend Coachman, because I was busy trying to write my speech, right? I know I write my speech live. You know what I'm saying? So I'm busy trying
to write. And we had to alter our speeches, but go ahead.
Right. Yeah, we'll talk about that after, because this gonna lead into that. So I'm trying to write my speech live, and gangster Dr. Reverend Coachman, triple OOG, okay? She said, is she gonna cut into our testimony time? I want to know. She didn't say it like that. She said it a whole lot nicer because she's a reverend and she has doctor in front of her name, so she know how to talk a little bit better than I do. Anyway, so she was like, is she gonna is she gonna cut into our time? And they tried to attack her, like what she was saying, which was a bunch of bull. I'll edit my language when I'm talking about the Dr. Reverend Phyllis Coachman. I'll give her that respect. So you know what I'm saying? Even though they tried to act like what she was saying was a bunch of bull. And then they came at her talking about, oh, you're disruptive. Like she's just a disruptor. And I didn't like that. I don't like the fact that you coming at her. So then she stood up. Like, let me show you who you talking to.
Right.
She stood up. She said, no, I am asking because we only get a certain amount of time. She goes, I am asking for communication. Because we only get a certain amount of time, and we know that the building sometimes has time limits. So we want to know, is this going to cut into our testimony time? And sure enough, after they let her pontificate for another 15 minutes, and then here comes Commissioner, is his name Hogg Divine? I always get Commissioner Hogg came out and said that we no longer got 3 minutes, that now we can only get 2 minutes because the building had another event after we were finished. So Reverend Coachman was 100% correct. And at that very exact moment is when Dr. Deborah Jenkins was walking out the door, trying to run out the door. And then she was the main one trying to call Dr. Reverend Phyllis Coachman a detractor and a distractor and a disruptor for saying the God's honest truth, for standing on business and speaking the truth. And so then she tried to be like, oh, that's not going to cut into y'all time. I said, Hogan's sitting there telling us right now that it's going to cut into our time. And then what she going to do? And ran out the damn door.
She took off like a bat out of hell. She couldn't get out of hell. She couldn't get out fast enough because she knows we was going to say something.
We was definitely going to say something. And she know I'm going to say something.
Now, I mentioned before you came in about this female who comes to all the hearings, but when she was at the Schomburg, she said she was Jamaican. But now she says she's from Low Country, South Carolina. This is what I mean about destiny swapping and what these folks are trying to do.
You know, she pisses me off to no end. Like,
I said she almost got her head rocked at the Schomburg, but
she was this close.
And you know they removed that whole video of all the hearings. They removed the whole video of the Schomburg.
I'm not shocked. See, this is why sometimes I'll be downloading them, but sometimes I forget. And I don't think I downloaded that one. I don't know. I got to look back in my archives and see, because I might have, because I did cut up the speeches from there. But then I'm not sure. I got to look. I got to check.
Go ahead.
But yeah, she definitely, you know, and she also said in her 3-minute speech at the Schomburg that they invented hip hop. That's what set us off. That's what really set us off. When she said that Jamaicans created hip hop, we was all ready to snatch her. Her. She almost didn't make it out. And so that's why I believe she's trying to change it now and say that she's from South Carolina so she'll get less heat for the bullshit that comes out of her mouth. That's in my opinion. That's my opinion. Because she said parents with an S. That's another thing. I pay attention to little nuances of words that people use. She said her parents are from South Carolina. So how can your parents be from South Carolina and you also be from Jamaica? It makes no sense.
Bunch of double talking foolishness.
Double talking.
But, you know, when we signed in, our names was at the top pretty much. We was like maybe 5 down or whatever. But they call all these people, but we knew that because we knew from a few business meetings ago, that's what they wanted to do. They trying to silence our voices. But little do they know, the family is not playing.
Nope.
And so you have some family members, you know, like the aunties.
We was not alone.
Who came in and showed up and showed out.
I sure did.
Showed out. And
I called Phyllis Coach because you know those are her friends. Those are her friends that came. I called them. I said that Dr. Phyllis Coachman came with the League of Aunties. She came with the League of Aunties, and they came and they took no shorts. They left no crumbs, and they took everybody's name.
So now I'm gonna play this video, Brother Divine, of Sister Brooks' favorite agitator. She gets so bothered. I'm watching her, and that's what. Never mind. I'm gonna tell y'all in the back channel what I'm getting. I think I told Sister Brooke what I'm getting already.
Yes, you did. You did.
I just gotta let Brother Divine know because. I told her. Oh, you did? Okay, good. So we all on one accord because I gotta start doing it. Because she was rolling her eyes and fidgeting. Soon as Brooke stood up,
they don't like me.
She talking to her friend who's sitting in front of her, or the person she knew rather, sitting in front of her, you know, oh. And she said, it's not a competition. It's not a competition. Who's competing? What are you talking about?
That's why people see in my testimony when I started pointing, it was her I was pointing to. Because she was sitting there talking during my speech, and I was when I got to that point, and after I pointed to her and shut her up, she ain't say nothing else after that.
And you know, I told Mr. Brooke, you know, what her family lineage is, you know, so that she's clear on who it is in the room.
That's
you know,
right.
But here she go. I'm gonna play it. She's another program person. Here we go.
I love you too, but we are losing time as we have this conversation. Dr. Cody.
Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Although I'm here representing New Yorkers for Reparations, yay! And I'm vice president of the National Action Network Brooklyn chapter.
So you already know what she about.
She about bad wigs and bad makeup. Go ahead.
Testimony today is presented on behalf of all Black children and youth. The research conducted by the education team I worked with used a methodological approach that focused on missed earnings potential.
Is she a doctor?
We attempted to calculate a dollar figure on the amount of educational harm that has inflicted on Black Americans as a result of slavery. It is part of the joint report already submitted to the commission by 40 Acres and an EV. It is nearly impossible to quantify centuries of harm that has occurred, beginning with the anti-literacy laws that were actually on the books in the 17 and 1800s, all the way through to Monday campaign for fiscal equity. However, we strive for educational credentials to answer how these achievements will translate into the employment marketplace towards building and sustaining a living, accordingly, economic development and building.
Pause. You see the lady from the NAACP sitting behind her, like, oh God. See, y'all gotta be in the room. And
that lady shocked me a little bit. The lady from the NAACP.
Yes,
I was expecting it a little bit different from her, but yeah, she did shock me.
She did. It was crazy. It was crazy. And then this one here with the blonde hair, she also had an attitude. It was just crazy.
Oh, she had a major attitude. I tried to give her a flyer.
She said,
oh
no.
My God.
No.
Yeah, she was like, I said, Lord Jesus. And I just you know, I was like, look, it's so many people in the room and I'm trying to work the room. I don't have time for people. If you don't want to hear what I got to say, I'm gonna move on to the next person. No tea, no shade. My feelings ain't hurt. I really don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting enough love in the room and enough love from the family members. I don't have to waste my time with people like you. Look how you look.
Mm-hmm.
Let
me get Brother Tad up on the Brooklyn Bridge while he get caught.
Yay! Brother Tad, we missed you. I know you've been working and been busy and stuff like that, but I just want you to know we missed you.
He getting it ready, but he getting it ready.
Okay, as long as he heard me though.
Yeah, he heard you. So let's finish with her and let's move on to Earn. Shout out to Earn.
And I think that is a core tenet of satisfaction. Don't apologize to us through words, apologize to us through actions. And the fact that there's a Citgo or a Shell gas station sitting upon the grave sites of people who have labored and toiled for this country for decades and centuries is a travesty that Reparations needs to address at its core. Last but not least, don't believe in income-based reparations. I do think reparations is not a handout. They are a formal recognition, and they are a settlement of a liability that America has left out of its books, which is why equity and wealth is currently overstated in this country. And so last but not least, I asked the task force to stay clear of race-based benefits, because if you're watching what's happening in Evanston and San Francisco, those are being actively challenged. There is a pathway for descendants. The question is, do you have the courage to follow forward with that model and force the legislators to do something about it? And with that, I thank you guys for everything that you do. I'm looking forward to many other Saturdays where we can have these conversations.
Thank you.
Notice he said about gas stations being built on burial grounds, right? That was there was a Caucasian woman who gave a presentation about that very topic, right, on Staten Island. But I'm going to put everything into full perspective for you, because when I got home, I got a message from BX, the gatekeeper. Got a message from BX to get everybody together because Ghana was coming to New York with a delegation to the burial ground, where our ancestors are. What up, Brother Tad? Brother Tad.
Peace to the family. Peace to the family.
Hey, Brother Tad.
How y'all doing? I miss y'all. I miss y'all so much, but I'm watching all the trouble y'all causing, and I'm loving it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh man. Oh man. So the No Action Network. I'm waiting to hear the rest of the hearings and what was happening with the folks out there.
Okay, we're gonna get into it. Hold on. Let's continue. Now, this person who's about to speak, I think she's the director of this center, right? And I think she's Cuban. Brooke, I think she was.
So much. Now, please listen, because we're going to ask you to be prepared. I'm going to call the next one, but I'm going to call the next two so we can continue to flow. I believe it's a Kelly Villar. Kelly. William Loque and Terrence Graham. Thank you so much.
Hi, Kelly Villar here. Welcome. I'm the founder and CEO of the Staten Island Urban Center. So welcome to our home.
Thank you.
I just wanted to quickly say, we're very pleased that you're here. I don't want to waste time because I really want to hear what everybody has to say. But the Urban Center's mission, and I mention this for an important reason, is to be in the pursuit of cultural equity everywhere, thrivability, self-determination, and independence. We are a community development through community involvement organization. We were created for this purpose, to do this work. And I want to invoke the name of Pedro Abisu Campo, who is an independence leader in Puerto Rico.
You see how everybody try to grandfather themselves onto our thing? This is the slick shit.
Who?
She said Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Shut up.
Work it off. Y'all can't even get a decent boxer. So cut it
up. Who was a fighter and big believer in reparations. And one of the things, a couple of things that he spoke to, and I believe in, is that reparations has to address human rights violations. It has to address political oppression, colonial poverty, and we even have colonial poverty here in the United States, in New York City, in Staten Island, in Manhattan, in Brooklyn, in Queens. Systemic economic dependency. And I wanted to lift those ideas for reparations because I think in alignment with Dr. Malveaux, it's not just about the things they're supposed to do. The things that I believe that we need to center reparations around are things that raise social consciousness. Because if we don't raise social consciousness, then this will always be a struggle. It will always be a not understanding when we live in a world when there are people out there who don't even know what they don't know. So I encourage us as we think about those solutions that we think about raising, what is going to raise social consciousness?
Thank you.
Thank you.
What the hell does that have to do with a debt owed?
Yo.
When the electric company come for their money, do you tell them about a social consciousness? When the cable company come for their money, when the gas company come for their money, do you tell them about a social consciousness? This is the foolishness that goes on. And Tad, Brother Isaiah was there. He said, "What's up?"
All right, peace to the brother Isaiah. That's what's up.
He said, "I don't see how y'all sat through all of these hearings." He said, "Because I'm about to lose my mind." I said, "That's what Dad said."
Yeah,
that's why my testimonies be so fiery. I be pissed.
It's just crazy work, but this is the foolishness. But I'm showing y'all how slick these people are in charge. Puerto Rico is a welfare state. You get reparations. When the majority of the island is on welfare, you are in welfare state. Now continue.
Thank you. And I'm going to ask speakers to state their name just in case I mispronounce it, just so we have it clearly for the record.
My name is William Luque. I'm part of the My Brother's Keeper Fellow Initiative. And something I wanted to...
I'm going to fast forward these kids because I think they was there to stack the deck with some foolishness.
They absolutely were there to stack the deck with the foolishness. But before you move on, while you fast forwarding,
go ahead.
So I tried to give that lady who owned who's, head of the center or whatever, a flyer.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so rude.
Mm-hmm.
And then she realized somebody must have told her who I am, right? Because as rude as she was, again, like I said before, I don't got time. If you don't want to hear what I'm having to say or whatever, I'm moving on to the next person. I don't got time for it. I know I still got to, write my speech or whatever. So I don't really got time. I'm trying to do a lot of things at one time. I'm trying to give out flyers, write my speech. You know what I'm saying? Drink water, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Put money in the meter. Don't forget about that. I have to put money in the meter.
Yes.
Go back and forth to my car, all this kind of stuff. So I really ain't got time. So if you don't want to hear what I got to say. So when I walked up to her and she was rude and she was nasty, I just walked. I literally, as soon as she heard the nasty word came out her mouth, I didn't even say goodbye, nothing. I just turned my back to her and walked away. Like, that's it. I'm done. So then like I said, somebody must have came up to her and talked to her. And the reason why I got off camera because I went to go get this sticky note. So me and Keisha just sitting there chilling, and she gonna come up to me with this sticky note, talking about, I'm sorry, I was distracted. I support your work, Kelly. I took the note. I was like, I don't care. Like y'all sitting around. Look, I'm not here for your approval. I'm not here for you to like me. I don't care about none of that. In fact, when you don't like me, I love it because that means I'm doing a good job at what I'm supposed to do. Especially if you was a shill, if you up there shilling, if you up there shucking, dancing, jiving, and you don't like me, I'm good with that. I love it that you hate me. I love it that you're rude to me. You think I give a fuck? Only y'all tap dance for white folks and want their approval and want their love. I don't give a damn about your love. I get love from the people who I need it from, my family members, foundational Black Americans, freedmen. They come up to the hearings like Bruce. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're here. I was wondering if you were gonna make it, if you were gonna come. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm
the Bruce.
Right.
I love you, Sister Brooke.
Thank you. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't need nobody love when Tad love me. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I'm full. My heart is full.
Look, y'all was starting trouble.
See Tad starting stuff again.
Y'all was starting trouble all week. I was loving it. I said, "Oh, look at my sisters out there fighting the
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we were. We were starting trouble all week. It's been a busy week. It's been a troublemaking week. 2 weeks, as a matter of fact, because y'all don't know that we went to Albany last Tuesday. Me and Divine was up there hobbling in Albany.
Oh man, let me ask y'all. Since I tapped in late, did y'all cover the UN?
Not yet.
All right.
We got you, bro. You know I was gonna hold it till you got here. Don't worry.
No doubt. No doubt.
So now we're gonna move on to Brooke's favorite agitator right here. The one who claimed to be Jamaican, but now she's from Low Country, South Carolina. Well, her dirty
one who be trafficking in her hair.
R or NAS?
Yes.
Okay.
Carrie
and
Shell.
Then I think a Heather Q. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. We're moving along. All right. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nia Chloe Bowman. Today, I'm going to be talking about my personal narrative and how this ties into the overall of what economics reparations can be. I am the granddaughter of the Great Migration. My ancestors cultivated rice and picked cotton in the Low Country, South Carolina. These cash crops made New York its wealth in terms of insurement, transportation of those crops, the finished goods, and the development of the financial capitals that we know for New York State to be today. My grandparents were so poor in the 50s because of this lineage that they came to Far Rockaway in the 50s to be a part of the first public housing project on Far Rockaway's peninsula. My key takeaway today from my public testimony is we need to consider the lineages of New Yorkers that also made New York wealthy of what it is today. When we follow the cash crops, we get to see that it's just not the enslavement of New York that was milking milk, making the grain for the corn, making the grain for the wheat, it's making the grain for the hemp. It's also the cotton, it's also the rice, it's also the indigo, it's also the sugar that was cultivated not only just in the South, but also in the Caribbean colonies as well.
And there you have it. There you have it. You see this slick stuff? This, let me tell you.
Wow. I was waiting for it.
This is the slick lion tether that she is. This is insane. But let's continue because I want y'all to see what the hell be going on. We're gonna pass that lady. But even this lady said it should be for us. But let me move on. Hold on.
Like Dr. John Derek Norvell, Ricky Smith, and then Jennifer.
Hold on, I'm gonna fast forward this because he got on my nerves.
Hadlock.
He got on my nerves.
Is there a Jennifer?
Let me get it to the sister.
Thank you so much.
All of you there.
Thank you so much, doctor. Thank you. Ricky Smith.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ricky. I am a foundational Black American, 61 years old. I'm here to talk about lineage-based reparations. See, so our fight for justice, for civil rights, for affirmative action has too often seen the term Black diluted into minority, forcing us to share the hard-won fruits of our struggle with others that it was never meant for in the first place. You know who else is a minority? White women. More white women benefited from affirmative action than we ever did. This dilution undermines the very essence of reparations, reducing it to a token gesture when it should be a profound act of restorative justice. I can consider this. I cannot claim Jewish reparations, even though my mother was a Jew. And their reparations are owed by Germany anyway. They ain't owed by us. I cannot claim Native American reparations despite my grandfather's full-blooded Choctaw lineage. Nor can I claim Japanese reparations or anyone else's. Each group's claim to justice is distinct and specific to their historical experience. Therefore, it is illogical and unjust to expect foundational Black Americans to share their unique reparations with everyone of color who has come to this country. The very term African American has been co-opted now, blurring lines that are starkly drawn when it comes to pride and inclusivity, yet it suddenly does matter and we're all the same when a check is involved. I got a problem with that. Reparations are not a handout. They're a recognition of unpaid labor, stolen wealth, and generational trauma. It is a conversation that must center on those who are owed, without diversion or appropriation by others who have not shared in this specific historical burden. They got here after the work was done. And we had to fight and lobby for them to even have an opportunity to come here. Only 100 Black people were allowed in this country per year, I remember, because I'm over 60, right? So there go your reparations. To me, to those who benefit from our opportunities created by our ancestors' sacrifices, a simple thank you and a recognition of our unique claim would be a powerful start.
Thank you so much. And please submit it if you haven't.
Now, she was a part of the League of Aunties.
Yep. Brother Divine, you like that?
She was one of Dr. Reverend Phyllis Coachman's people, okay?
Oh, okay.
That was her crew.
That makes so much more sense. I'm like, who is this sister that is cooking that I ain't never met or seen before?
She was part of the League of Aunties that Dr. Reverend Phyllis Coachman came in there with. You hear me? I told you she came in with a League of Aunties.
Mm-hmm.
That was powerful.
That just goes to show you that the education and the outreach is working. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Let's get to the fire started, the flamethrower. Sister Brooke, hold on.
Pass. Okay. Okay, so our next. I think we. Bristol? I don't know. It looks like
They both know who the hell she is.
Okay. And then, oh, okay. Hey, yep, Brooke, Keisha, and then Daniel Smalls, I believe.
How did that look anything like Bristol? What the hell?
Child, I was trying to get my camera together. I got nothing. I was not ready, as usual.
We got mad shout out and love from Isaiah too in his testimony.
When we look at the 1700s and 1800s census records, it becomes clear who was actually here during the era of American slavery. Reparations are not about creating communal abundance. They are about rectifying and repairing the specific harms of slavery and the systems that allowed it. There is only one group whose ancestors were present for everything Debbie and Paige lectures about: the full arc of American chattel slavery. The need to buy and mortgage family members is a peculiar practice that only happened here. So is the racial terror that followed and the legal exclusion that lasted for generations. This was unique to this soil, and it happened to a specific lineage. It is not everyone's history, and that is why it is not everyone's to claim it. During the draft riots, whose ancestors were here? Who endured the racial climate of that era? Whose ancestors are buried in those historic burial grounds tied to slavery in this city? Definitely not Sheila Jackson Lee's. Her ancestors are buried in the Caribbean, and I would assume in Jamaica, where we are the descendants of American freedmen, not people whose families chose to immigrate to America later. So the psychological harms of lynching and racial terror were imprinted on us. Redlining is a form of the badges and incidents of slavery, not a random policy. It was a continuation of the same using new tactics. And before the 1960s, before we fought for equality and in immigration policies, the Afro-immigrant population in the United States was statistically tiny, less than 1% of the Black population nationwide. That matters because reparations must be tied to the people who were actually harmed, not to those who arrived after the fight for equality opened the doors. I'm glad General Counsel Attorney Sneed Williams is here. She was present when her husband, Jamani Williams, asked to be included in the claims his ancestors were not present for. That request showed a misunderstanding of constitutional law, and she was also present when Camilla Moore Esquire laid out a constitutional framework in detail. I hope she uses her legal expertise to explain to her husband constitutional law. Dr. Malveaux mentioned the billions of dollars. Meanwhile, this city spent $10 billion on illegal. No commission, no studies, no lineage requirement. But when it comes to the people whose ancestors built this country, suddenly everyone wants to claim make our claim unconstitutional.
Please submit the full comment.
You see how quick he cut me off? He was letting people just go and go and go. But when it came to me, he cut me off real fast.
He was mad because we was there anyway. He tried to act like him and Ron didn't.
My name is Mrs. Keisha.
Like they didn't know what your name was.
I'm a foundational Black American descendant of freedmen. I stand here as a verified descendant of the enslaved peoples whose bodies, labor, and lives were extracted for over 200 years to build this nation, its wealth, including economic foundation of the state of New York. Let's be direct. This is not about race. This is about a specific debt owed to a specific people. Foundational Black Americans are not asking for programs, panels, or symbolic gestures. We are making a legal, lineage-based claim for restitution, and the remedy must match the scale of the crime. We are demanding two things: clear, measurable, and non-negotiable: direct cash payments to verified descendants of the enslaved, and full federal and state income tax exemption to those same descendants. Nothing less meets the definition of reparations. Anything else is a distraction. We can prove who we are through genealogy, historical records, and family documentation. We can establish lineage to the enslaved population of the United States. That lineage defines the creditor class. And let me be clear on this point.
Those who do not descend from U.S. slavery do not have standing in this claim. This includes individuals of immigrant lineage. Reparations is not about skin color or diversity. It is about a repayment of stolen labor. If your ancestors were not subjected to that system on this soil, then you are not owed the same debt, and you should not be shaping the remedy. This is about accountability. After emancipation, the government made promises of land, restitutions that were never fulfilled. That failure created a compounding economic injustice that still exists today. So we are not asking, we are asserting a claim backed by history, a claim backed by documentation, and a claim backed by generations of unpaid labor. The question is simple: will this commission recommend real restitution or continue the cycle of delay? We are not here for a conversation. We are demanding what's rightfully ours.
Thank you.
Yo, this dude pissing me off, man. He keep cutting y'all off right when y'all finishing. Like he couldn't let you talk for 5 seconds more or some shit. Fuck out of here.
Well, actually, Brother Black,
we
had 3 minutes, but then they cut us down to 2 minutes.
I heard you when you said it before.
Now Bo kept rambling. But we knew that was the setup. We knew that was the play. This is what they do.
That's why Dr. Reverend Phyllis Coachman said what she said, because she knew what was up.
Absolutely. They did the same thing to us at the Schomburg. The same thing. So, because the other minute that I had was tying up the connection in nepotism with the commission, its legal representation, and the shills that were in the room. Now, this person is a politician on Staten Island who's Afro-Cuban. Check this out.
Yes.
Oh, yep. Give
yes,
reset it to
time,
2.
please. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. There are many negative and false narratives surrounding reparations. It is too complex. I saw a comment, why should the Blacks receive compensation for slavery? So here's my counter argument to the naysayers. April 16th, 1862, the Compensation Emancipation Act of District of Columbia. Passage of this law came 8.5 months before President Lincoln issued his Emancipation Proclamation. Lincoln wanted to preserve his fragile alliance with loyal slave owners. Former slave owners received compensations up to $300 for each freed slave. Although the District of Columbia Emancipation Act marked the only time the federal government would compensate slave owners. There's a long history of slave owners requesting and receiving indemnification for the loss of their chattel. We were seen as chattel. And what does that mean? It means tangible, movable, personal property. There was funding for slave owners to receive compensation. Then the same method should apply for descendants of slavery. As a society, we need to recognize and examine how much compensation should be offered to people who suffer torture and other human rights abuses, and whose labor, skill, knowledge, and families were stolen for generations. Regret does not equal an apology. And as I close, I want to close out with this. We will hear loud objections from those who benefit from the status quo and who cannot imagine a different world. But it is only through confronting the past that we can reimagine our future. It is only through reparations that this new future can take shape. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, what y'all didn't get to hear, because they introduced her early on before the presenters came on. She's Afro-Cuban. Now, who is the we she talking about? Who the we you talking about? But again, this is what happens. Again, and I say it all the time, they so used to leaning on us, they don't know how to stand on their own. You know, but I'm gonna fast forward because we got to get with what's the name? This brother right here. You're gonna see more of him because he came out to the protests against the Ghanaian delegation.
He
So
sure
we
did.
chopping up with him outside. Let me get to Brother Isaiah, and then we'll move on.
We have the African Services Committee, the Undocu Black Network, Black Alliance for Just Immigration, African Communities Together, Mayor Office of Immigrant Affairs, and we have the Office of New Americans. One thing that all of these organizations have in common is they are specifically for immigrants, for undocumented, right? You see, Undocu Black Network. So they're not hiding what they're doing. We don't have any of these for foundational Black Americans, for freedmen, and it's by design, right? I want to give some shout outs. Shout out to the U.S. Freedmen Project. Let's get them a black hand. We got to give the U.S. Freedmen Project a black hand. They've been holding it down for a long time, but definitely in all of these hearings, going up to Albany, going through that snow, Buffalo, getting their time wasted in these hearings. I don't know how y'all do it. This is my first in-person one, and it was hard to sit through, getting our time wasted. Shout out to the great ancestors, the immortal Nat Turner, Mama Harriet Tubman, right? I want to give a shout out to our champion for foundational Black Americans, freedmen, ADOS, Heritage American, if you want to go by that, but you know, that's not that appropriate. But we're Heritage Americans too. Dr. Claude Anderson, that is our champion. He been fighting for longer than I've been alive. I'm a 90s baby. We got to give him his credit. Shout out to Queen Afua. Shout out to all the people coming out to the panels. Sister Chantel Williams. Shout out to the beautiful Camilla Moore Esquire. Shout out to her pulling up, coming all the way from Cali and all of that. Brother Carrier. Shout out Brother Earn. He's not even in the state, but he's been on multiple hearings through Zoom and all of that. Shout out Bria Baker, 40 Acres in the Tesla. Shout out to Thorough Black Talk Worldview. Shout out to the good sister Keisha and brother Taz. Shout out Zyx. Shout out Afro Man.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to leave it there because we got to move on to the protest that took place on Tuesday. Now, I'm going to let Brother Divine talk a little bit about that while I set the videos up in the background. You and Sister Brooke, y'all can dialogue and let the people know exactly why y'all were there, who you were there to protest against, and what was the overall energy.
All right, so I'm gonna let Sister Brooke go in on that because this is all new to me. You know, y'all sat through the hearing. This is my first time seeing it. I had some family business to take care of that weekend, so I thank y'all for holding it down. Not for me, for the U.S. Freedom Project, but for our ancestors. At a hearing that I could not be there. You guys absolutely cooked as usual. But I just wanted to go directly to that Caribbean woman that's now from the Low Country. What's interesting is that we've seen an influx of the tethers pretending to be us, but using South Carolina as the gateway. I'm not sure what that connection is. I'm not sure if they're trying to tap in to the Gullah and they're using that as cover because they also have a accent that's not their accent, but maybe an accent that they feel like they can hide behind. But I wanted to point something else out because I think it was in the business meeting. I think it was the last one, if I'm not mistaken, or the one before that. And you guys can help me confirm that. The commission talked about employing and or getting influencers as volunteers for free to help promote the commission. Was that this last business meeting or one for that, right? So that's a very interesting notion. And now it kind of makes sense seeing all the things come out in the open. And this all could be circumstantial because I have no direct evidence of it yet. Because I believe that we're going to get it because the answers have been revealing all. But recently I was on TikTok and I saw this same woman, the Nia chick. And I'm like, oh, that's the Caribbean from the Schomburg. And she's the only I haven't seen any information, any footage, any pictures, nothing from the event that was supposed to have taken place in February in Albany, right? Remember, there was no hearing because they said they were going to have a workshop at the caucus weekend. And so because my foot was broke, I didn't get a chance to go up. But what we did find out, the only thing I've heard from it is that it was not what I thought it was going to be, because they did say they were going to do it in conjunction with another organization, quote unquote grassroots organization, and they were going to host a workshop alongside the commission. What it sounds like it ended up being was just a Q&A or just some pontificating by the commission itself. So, humble brag, the U.S. Freedom Project is still the only organization in New York that's ever done a reparations workshop in the state of New York in history. So I thought they were going to try to force that in there to try to take that talking point away from us, but it still lives on, based on the facts that have come out so far. But here's what's interesting. The only person I've heard anything about that event in Albany from is Dania chick. On her TikTok, she had a video saying, hey, I just came back from Albany, and started giving details about what they were talking about and different recommendations, and then imploring the people, whoever the people is, to come out, right, to these other hearings and things in that nature. So she was promoting the commission as an influencer online. And so even if that video is taken down, I thank goodness and thank the ancestors and thank God that we were there in person. So we got a chance to hear her. Her entire testimony in the Schomburg was against us talking about what she claimed to be for in this hearing. She was against us talking about lineage-based reparations and highlighting the stories of our ancestors. The same way now she's talking about, she wants to highlight her South Carolinian ancestors.
Fake.
But her segue, right, her fake answer, her segue into the Caribbean claim, that Caribbean lie about hip hop, is that she also told that very familiar tether lie that there was so much traffic between us and her family and her ancestors in the Caribbean that it doesn't make sense for us to try to make this a lineage-based claim, because there was too much traffic, too much overlay, and there's too much mixing of the lines for us to even say it should be only for foundational Black Americans. And because the sugarcane fields of her family helped build the wealth of America. So how did you go from sugarcane in the Caribbean to the rice fields in South Carolina? Something's not right. And she's not right. And I believe that she is a tool of this commission. I don't know what her full agenda is yet, outside of lying and outside of trying to play like she's one of us. But this is not going to be the first trick that this commission tries to pull before it's all said and done, because as y'all can see, the family is on their ass. And we're not giving them a moment's rest. And I'll let that be the segue for my sister to go in about what happened at the Negro Burial Ground.
Yeah, before we go into the Negro Burial Ground, I just wanted to read the last minute of my testimony that got cut off. Right? If you would allow me to do so, I would appreciate that latitude, because I was going to go off about that. And so my next thing, when I said our claim is unconstitutional, that's where I left off at, and that's where he cut me off at. The next paragraph begins. What concerns me is seeing non-freedmen being used, intentionally or not, to undermine a birthright that does not belong to them. The insertion of Afro-immigrants into our history is concerning, and it comes off like erasure by a group of people who are supposed to be family and whose experiences are in different countries and had different practices. Reparations are a legal remedy for a specific identifiable group whose ancestors endured slavery, racial terror, and state-sanctioned exclusion in the United States. The truth cannot be rewritten. Then I was going to go into thanking the family for sponsoring us to be there, because I definitely had to pay for parking, but I didn't even think twice about it. And Keisha knows this to be true, because she know in real life, I don't pay for parking, right? But in this situation, I didn't even think about it because I had donations from the family, and I'm like, this is what they donate for. You know what I'm saying? They donate so I could be there and I could, you know, pay for parking and not have to be like, wait, that's not in my budget. You know? So yeah, so I had no problems doing that. But so this is the problem, you know, the fact that they're allowing themselves to be used in this way is problematic. And you want us to, you keep saying, you know, oh, there should be unity, but how is that unity? It's interesting how people are able to identify the erasure when it comes from a white face, but you can't identify the erasure when you're doing it. You can't identify that. And the part of the presentation that the lady made from South Carolina was the fact that there was this gentleman, it's not South Carolina, Staten Island. The fact that this gentleman in Staten, a foundational Black American man in Staten Island, had to mortgage his wife. Did they have to mortgage their wives in Jamaica? Did they have to mortgage their wives in Haiti? Did they have to mortgage their wives in Trinidad, Barbados, Grenada, Guyana, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico? Did they have to do that? No, they did not. And that is why I said that is we have peculiar things that happen on this soil and on this soil only. And how dare you insert yourself and think that what you went through and what we went through is the same. It's not. When slavery was over for you, it was over for you. It wasn't over for us. We still had redlining. We still had this. We still had the war of Reconstruction. Y'all don't even understand what we went through for Reconstruction. Much less all the rest of it. Y'all weren't strange fruit. They didn't after slavery. This. I'm not talking about slavery no more. They didn't hang you, quarter you, eat you after slavery. That wasn't happening. This man had to put a mortgage out. He put a mortgage on his wife. And then we got people who come from other lineage and they want to sit there and talk about how Black people own slaves. Yeah, so technically, when he finished paying off his mortgage, he owned his own wife. But he had to do that just so she could live free. So you daggone right with some of us own slaves. We owned our family members. We went back and purchased our family members. This man didn't even have the money. He put a mortgage out. I don't think y'all hearing me. He put out a flipping mortgage. How many of y'all got mortgages on your houses? His wife was so expensive. A mortgage with interest. Because she talked about how much the actual cost was and how much he ended up paying over, what was it, 10 years, Keisha? I think it was a period of about 10 years. It took him a goddamn decade to pay off his wife. And then you're going to sit here and act like what we went through is the same? No, the fuck it's not. Not one of y'all had to do nothing like that. And then he talked about how he had to do pretty much the same thing for his kids. He had a mortgage on his wife and children. And then they were still trying to come back and take the kids. And this is what I mean. How dare you? But you don't know. You hear slavery and you think everything is the same because it's not your history. And this is what we keep telling you. You don't know what happened here because you wasn't here. I don't insert myself and act like I could tell you what happened in your countries. Because you know why? I wasn't there. It's not my history. Then you want to sit here and this is going to transition into this. She sat and she talked about the historical burial grounds that they have in Staten Island. And that's why I asked the questions. Whose bones are in there? Not near a Haitian, not near a Jamaican, not near a Trinidadian, not near a Bayesian, not near a Ghanaian, not near a Grenadian. None of y'all are in our historical burial grounds. And the very few Africans that were there were sold by other Africans. So therefore, they didn't even want to be seen as African anymore. Look at the documentary from Clotilda on Disney. That's on Disney. One of the very last, they talk about the very last slave ship that came over here and how one of the people that was on that ship, he was a part of the chief's family. He pissed off the chief and the chief sold him. Why would you want to be tied to those people who sold you? When those descendants went over there, the chief laughed in their face. Lied. First he lied in their face. Then he laughed in their face. To the point where the only gentleman that went with them, he had to get up and leave because he knew he was about to lose it. This is how they felt about it. So why the hell, yeah, they might have had a little bit of African blood, but after that, after they got to these shores, forget them people who sold us. I don't want nothing to do with them no more. I have ingrained myself here. I have put myself here. I am here. I've joined with the fighters here, not the sellers over there. Now we could just go right on into the African or the Negro Burial Ground because they changed the name to African because they've been setting up this play for a few decades now. And God knows Professor Alan was breaking down what them symbols are. They sitting there, that's what they're doing. They're trying to use the ancestral power of our ancestors for their own gain. So Ghana, before Sister Keisha, how deep you want me to go? Because you know, you want me to go from the beginning. I won't talk about, you know, that other person, but I want the co-opter. How deep you want me to
go?
So I heard about it. You want me to name names or just be what you want me to do?
However way you want to go, I got your back.
There's a woman named Lacey. She has a foundation called Lacey's House. Lacey hit me up in the DMs long time ago about the fact that Ghana was coming to town. I've been new. But the way she framed it is that these women are being unalived in Ghana and how we need to support them so they can get their land back. I give no damns about your land in Ghana. That is not my fight. That is not my focus. So I ignored her. I didn't say nothing mean to her. I was not mean because she's gone through some traumatic, I won't go into that, but she's gone through some, that's her story to tell. She's gone through some extremely traumatic things over there, which is why I don't understand why you are fighting to stay. Fighting to be there. Fighting. If you go to her website, it says that she's trying to reopen or open her foundation over there. I don't know why you're trying to do that with everything you went through over there and nobody even paid the price. They don't help their own people when they go through this very same traumatic things that you went through. So why you think they would do something about yours? Because you light skinned? They showed you that they don't care about that. They only care about that when it comes to a marriage license. Okay? But when it comes to protection, they're not going to protect that light skin. But they'll use you for a marriage license. Anyway, so she hit me up about it. I wasn't with it. Then BX hit up Sister Keisha. Sister Keisha hit up me, and then BX hit me up. And then as soon as she brought up the spiritual aspect and the fact that they could want to do things on our ancestral bones, that's a whole different story for me. So then I was down. I'm with it now. You know what I'm saying? Before I'm not standing with Lacey on nothing. Understand that. And we're going to get into the video. You'll see exactly who I'm talking about and why I said what I said. You can hear out of her mouth what she's there to fight about. So BX, you know, she wanted to do this. And I love BX. And so I'm with it. We let's stand together. Now she wanted me to stand with other people that I ain't with, but whatever. I was quiet at first because we are here for a common goal. And you know what I'm saying? So we you know what I'm saying, we ended up having to look, we worked with some people to do what we had to do. Okay. So we get down there and it was so much family that showed up. The guy that we met at Staten Island, we had just met him. I walked up there. He was already online trying to go inside. I'm like, sir, they're not going to let you in. Follow me. Right. And then Lacey was over there too. But yeah, so the gentleman, he came, you know, with me. So I came in with security. Because he's a big dude. I came in with security. And so we came in, you know, I had signs and stuff that I printed on my printer. So I was getting the signs together. And it was just so much love out there. And, you know, Melrose. I walked up. I didn't even know Melrose was going to be that Melrose. Is that Mike from Melrose Radio?
First lady, you got to shout out Melrose Radio. If you don't know, you will know. Shout out to Melrose. Always doing the thing.
Always. He's the whole reason why if it wasn't for Melrose, there wouldn't have been no Mike. We wouldn't have been that loud. We'd have been out there, but we wouldn't have been loud. We wouldn't have been able to disrupt the way we disrupted without Melrose. Because that's why when you hear footage from the Ghanaian president speaking, or you hear Mondummy speaking, you hear, like, specifically Mondummy, you can hear me in the back saying they don't speak for us. I was like, how fitting was it that my voice was Mondummy's, the person who did a 6-hour live. My voice got to be his soundtrack. Oh, hallelujah. Come on. Come on. Can we praise him for a second? Can we? Come on, Lord. Okay.
You start too much trouble, Brooke. Too much trouble.
Look, that's what God put me on this earth for, and that's what the ancestors put in my DNA. I come from a long line of troublemakers. We like to start good trouble. So I guess that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's in my blood. I can't help it. Okay. And then don't put me around some more troublemakers, because now I know I'm protected. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Brother Divine was out there, like, he don't play. You know what I mean? The dude from what, I can't think of his name. Oh man, I'm mad that I can't remember his name. But like I said, the big dude that we met in Staten Island, he was there. He don't play. He wasn't playing about me either. Melrose, don't play about me. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, my brothers was out there. So, you know what I'm saying? I had a league of brothers with me. You know what I'm saying? So don't do me that now. Don't, because I'm already a person. But then I got a big mouth and I'll be thinking about the consequences after.
You ain't the first and you ain't gonna be the last. Trust me.
Right. But in this case, I didn't even have to think about the consequences because I had so much testosterone around me. It didn't matter. You can't do nothing to me. You can't even get to me if you wanted to. So, yeah. So yeah, it was a great, you know, Sister Keita.
Where she came from? Go.
Sister Keita came in from Michigan. Close airport. Because y'all know that situation with LaGuardia.
Let me tell the story, because I usually get up like about 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I get up and I hear the news. LaGuardia is shut down. And the day before, we just had a Zoom conversation where we was going to meet up. BX was going to, spend the night with her at the Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I get up and I see LaGuardia is shut down. And I remember on the Zoom, she said she was coming in the morning. So I hit up BX, 5 o'clock in the morning, I think the time was. I was like, check on Sister Keita because LaGuardia is now shut down because Air Canada plane hit a fire truck. So let me tell you, this is how the ancestors work. That wasn't going to stop that show. That wasn't going to stop it. They got her here all the way from Michigan. But go ahead, finish the story.
I don't know how she got here. I'm gonna be honest. She said she talked them and she blah 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 blah. I to this day I think Keita grew wings and feathers and put her bed and had her luggage underneath her and flew here her goddamn self. Because I don't know how the hell she flew into a closed airport. She talked about she talked to. I don't know how that's possible. The airport was closed.
Brooke, I got it for you. You ready? You ready? League of Auntie Superpowers.
She's not even an auntie yet. She's not old enough to be an auntie yet. But she definitely, I think she got them angel superpowers because she definitely grew wings and flew here herself. You can't convince me otherwise. You can't because I don't know how she flew into a closed airport, or maybe she got her own plane. I don't know. I think Keita not telling us something. Because or maybe she know how to teleport and she. I don't know. Okay, but Keita was here. Okay, and Keita was rowdy, and I was like, yes, Keita, you got every right to be as rowdy as you want to be. You went through a lot to get here. Don't you tell Keita to be quiet. Don't do that. Don't do that.
And the thing is too, sis, with the whole planning that was behind the scenes, because like Brooke said, we put certain differences to the side for a general cause here. And let me tell you something. Brooke don't play. Brooke don't play. Some of them Zoom meetings was hot, but I'm gonna keep that close to the vest. You don't have to know how we strategize as long as we get the job done. And so, again, kudos to Foundational. I think he came in from PA.
We saw him at the he parked in the same garage I did. Again, the garage funded by the family because I ain't paying in park. Okay, and that garage was like $40-$50. Okay, after taxes and whatnot. I didn't even know how much them garages cost because that's how much I don't park in them.
So the whole week before, because we had a few Zoom calls before Tuesday took place, but I was checking with the museum and burial ground, and all the way up until the day before, they had open Tuesday to Saturdays. Right? Open start at 10 o'clock. So the day before, so let me just check again. Now it's Wednesday to Saturday. So I told BX, let me make some phone calls. I called 311, and I was told by them that because of the government furlough, because the Parks Department owns that land, owns that space, and owns that site, that they had a shortage of staff. So for now, it's Wednesday to Saturday. We already knew the Africans was coming. We already knew. That's why we was going down any goddamn way. Yep. But anyway, telling people, well, you want me to start showing videos or you want to keep going? Go ahead.
You can start showing videos so I don't just, keep talking. I'll say one more thing about the back channels. Not only do I not play, I don't play about me. I don't play about mine. I don't play about my people. And I don't care if nobody has my back. I will have everybody's back in the room. And you don't have to understand what I'm doing. Sometimes the ancestors whisper stuff to me and I see it coming ahead of time. You ain't got to see it. Just don't, you know what I'm saying? Just allow me. Allow me, please, okay? And then not only that, but I ain't gonna agree to nothing that I know I ain't gonna do. If I ain't gonna do it, I'm not gonna yes you to death. I'm not gonna yes you in your face and then come out and do something else. No, I'm gonna tell you straight up from the door, I'm not doing that. And if you have a problem with it, tough titties. And so, you know, that's, you know, what it is. And then I'll stop there so we don't get too deep into, you know, what happened. But yeah, I don't play no game.
Hey, Sister Keisha, who that new light-skinned dude that just came on?
It's the king of Brooklyn, Bronx boy.
That's right. Crown him. Crown him.
Shout out to the family, man.
That's my way of saying I miss you, big bro.
I miss you too, bro. You already know. Shout out to the whole panel. Our brother Divine on the 1 and 2, Sister Marcia. You know, I'm just happy to be here, man.
Man, we missed you,
back, brother. You've been missed.
Yes.
You've been missed. So, which video you want me to play first, Brooke?
We could go in order of the way things happened. So I would say
we all had it right here.
Okay, yeah, you could just pick any video. Whatever one you want. I don't.
You sold our ancestors for umbrellas. You sold our ancestors for fine china. You
pause. Who's this woman, Brooke?
Lacey. Lacey kept trying to bogart the mic.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how I end up talking as much as I did because I'm telling President Divine, get on the mic. I'm telling Melrose, get on the mic. Get on the mic. Stop letting her talk. She's trying to co-opt this and make this about. I said, don't y'all hear what she's saying? They sitting there, they kicking and giggling and
what was she saying? What was she saying?
She kept saying. One thing she said was, "Oh, if you go to Melrose page, Melrose got one of them videos up. That way, that it won't be me saying what she said. It'll be her saying out her own mouth. If you go to Melrose page after we play this, we'll play what she said.
And shout out to Sister Ruth too, right here.
Yes.
Sold our ancestors for any little trinket that you could get. And now, you mad because other nations got rich off the slave trade and all you got was some beads. And now you want to sit here and try to ask for $100 million to translate the place where you stole and held our ancestors. And let me repeat the sentiment of my sister that just spoke. Jamani Williams, I saw you earlier. You don't speak for us because you don't have our blood. And Al Sharpton, you have our blood, but you still don't speak for us. You are a shakedown artist, a preacher without a church. You don't speak for us. Who else? Yvette Clark. Yeah, you might have been voted in, but you wasn't voted in by us, and you don't speak for us. And that's why we're going to make sure that you lose all these extra bodies that you put
on the census. That was the whole statement that you putting on the census so you can keep your goddamn seat.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows every day. We can tell when Yvette Clark sits up there and fights for everybody but us. We can tell that you ain't our kinfolk. When you sit there and you see our people struggling and suffering, but you're sitting there giving $10 billion to people who have never paid 1 penny into this tax system. But you don't care. I see you laughing, and I hope the ancestors come up from the ground and tear your ass up. I am so sick of y'all. We are not the only people. We are sick of it. We are tired of you disrespecting our ancestors and disrespecting us now in the present. We are sick and tired of it. You are disrespectful. We told you we don't like what you're doing, and you continue to do it. Don't you feel uncomfortable? You flew your ass all the way over here to be disrespectful on top of somebody else's grave. Now imagine if I came to Ghana and I just pissed all over your ancestors' graves. How would you feel about that? How would you feel about that? You wouldn't like it, but you feel the need to come over here and do what you're doing in the name of what? You are not our friends. You are not our family, because our friends and family will respect our ancestors' graves, but that's not what you're doing, is it? You're doing whatever the hell you want to do. And to us, be damned. And this is why we are tired of it. And this is why we delineate. This is why all you're doing is giving us fuel and letting us know what we must do. And the path that we are on is righteous. You are disrespectful, continuing on with this ceremony on, and how many of you are even foundational Black Americans that are over there? Probably none. But you are standing on our ancestors' bones. I'm telling you this again. You are standing on our ancestors' bones. And that's why we are tired of it. You can sit there and just stand there on our ancestors' grave. That's our people, not your people.
I'm gonna play this because then I'm gonna go into everybody who was there.
Is that Ron Daniels? Is that Ron Daniels?
Of course, of course.
Is that Ron
Of
Daniels
course.
Reparations Commission? Is that Ron Daniels selling out our ancestors?
Of course, of course.
Dr. Ron Daniels, number one sellout. Oh yeah, we looking at you. You the sellout. You the sellout. You don't speak for us. You were trying to get your money in the bill, but the U.S. Freedmen Project stopped that. We know you. We see who you are. You are a Pan-African scammer. You were trying to get your money in the reparations bill before the commission was even founded.
Plotting and planning, plotting and planning.
May the ancestors follow each and every one of you home for the disrespect that you have shown today. Our ancestors will get their lick back on you. I hope you enjoy it because the ancestors will take revenge out on you. You're trying so hard to stop the progression that our ancestors are making right now with us, within us. May the ancestors follow each and every one of you home and get their lick back on you for the disrespect that you have shown today.
So, as you can see, Ron Daniels was there with this delegation. However, he's one of the commission members. And as Brother Divine told us several times, try to write him and his organization into the bill so these fools could get money off the top. Now, who else was over there? Was James Small over there?
I didn't see him. But I don't know.
I don't know.
I know Al Sharpton was there. Go ahead, Devon.
Yeah, I don't know if James Smalls was there that day, but he was there definitely there the next day when Ghana was given the resolution. Yeah, at the UN. James Smalls was definitely there that day, cheering them on.
Again, all of these people got their little dealings with Ghana and other parts of the continent. And they're advocating things for themselves against you. And like I said before, let's just say Ghana was giving reparations. You think they're going to give you a check? You think they're going to give you anything? Knock it off. Knock it off. So then you had Jemani Williams, right? Who came over there? Let me see if I could.
Ghana owes reparations.
No, I didn't post that one.
Americans. Ghana owes reparations for foundational Black Americans.
Yes, they do.
Ghana owes reparations for foundational Black Americans.
Yes, they do.
Ghana owes reparations for foundational.
Is that on? It's probably on Melrose page.
I think it's on Melrose page because the reason why I posted is because Lacey eclipsed me audibly and visually. So I didn't post her because I'm not, but that's the one where you can hear her nonsense and what she's, well, I won't call it nonsense, but hear what she is fighting for, which has nothing to do with why the rest of us were there. None of us have none of
to keep it down because we ain't going to don't bring your cool over here.
That's Peter.
I don't respect that. And I don't respect who. How dare you? You hear us over here talking to you, and you are standing on our ancestors' bones.
Was DW out there?
Nah. She went to the, I think she went to the UN today or
Right.
whatever.
It was the UN.
I think she went to the UN.
Yeah,
but
it was the
UN. I was calling them co-conspirators. Because it's interesting to me. Can I just say this one thing? It's interesting to me that we, as the descendants of those that are buried in there, were not allowed to be there. So we're not allowed to be in there. But those people who have no connection whatsoever, the present and past co-conspirators of white supremacy were allowed to be in there. You don't even, it wasn't just Ghana in the house. I saw Ethiopian flags in there because some of them had their flags pinned on their chest. And so, you know what I'm saying? All of these African countries were allowed to be there to do this on our ancestors' bones, but none of us were allowed to be in there. And that ought to tell you who is working when they sit there talking. And then there's people in there talking about, oh, we wasn't New Yorkers enough, how we should have thrown eggs at them. Do you understand that is federal ground? What do you call those? The federal police? Are they called federal police? The ones that look like soldiers.
That was working over there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Federal police was over there. And they was not playing no games. They wouldn't even let me over there to pray.
It's a consortium of different federal agencies. Remember, if you have an international leader in them environments, you got to have CIA too, because that's a international situation involving the UN. So UN cops too, all of them, a little some of everybody.
So basically what I'm saying is they had the protection. They had the go ahead, the cooperation of white supremacy, and we did not. As they did, because you know why? Because they are all co-conspirators in our erasure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was trying to point out to them. You sit there and y'all sit there and tell us that how we are being divisive when you are working with the very same white people who stole this land in the first place. That land, whatever building that is supposed to be ours. That's where that was a burial ground, but now it's not. It's a federal building now. How do you think that happened? Them stealing the land right underneath your feet. And I hope the answers, and I don't even think I have to hope. I think it will be done. Ashe and amen. That the ancestors will follow each and every one of them home. They will pay. The ancestors will make our ancestors, not the ones they pour libations to, the ones that we poured libations to, because we was able to just fling a little water over there because they wouldn't let us go. You know what I'm saying? Who we flung libations to, and their ancestors, they understand. We wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but that's the only way we could get it over there. The ancestors we poured libations to, those ancestors, the ones that in that burial ground, will follow them home, and they will all pay for what they have done. And let's play
Sister
this.
Sister Keisha, going back to last week, what did you call when you were talking about Lower Manhattan and how it was almost all black back in them days? What did you call it again?
Land of the Blacks.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Actually, our bodies are buried, not just in this area or in Lower Manhattan, but also way along Spring Street. I remember when I used to work in an office building on Spring and 6th, and you had the construction of the Trump Hotel on that corner. It's now called the Dominic. He sold it when he ran for president the first time. So when that building was being constructed, there were a lot of things that happened. 2 construction workers actually fell to their death, and they actually hit my office window on the way down. So I had to be interviewed by police and all that. But anyway, when they went to, because it was a very narrow shaft, if you will, and when they went to retrieve their remains, they found bones buried there. Yes. And you had a brief mention on the news, but it was nothing after that. So all of that area from downtown Manhattan up through Midtown belonged to us at one time. Okay? But here's the clip with Jumaane Williams and the brother we met on Staten Island that, Brooke was discussing earlier. He came in as her security. But he did tell us Saturday he was going to show up.
He did.
He showed up.
And hold on. Just to make this full circle, Jumaane Williams, when you heard my testimony on Saturday in Staten Island, I talk about the general counsel's husband. This is who I'm talking about. This is just a full circle moment because somebody's asking that question in the chat. He is Jumaane Williams, whose wife is the general counsel on the commission. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, Sister Brooke, Sister Brooke, for those who don't know, tell them who Jumaane Williams is. Because not everybody is.
He's a public advocate. So if anything happens to the mayor, he's next in line. Which is why I wasn't too keen on Eric Adams leaving, even though I hated him.
And he too is a lawyer.
I didn't know he was a lawyer.
All public advocates are lawyers. But yeah,
so he should understand constitutional law his damn self. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know what practice or what discipline that he is accredited with, but he is a lawyer. Remember, I told y'all it's a difference between an attorney and a lawyer. So I don't know his discipline, but all public advocates are have a legal degree, I should say.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. So let's play this and we'll come right back.
Cash reparations. I want to make sure.
Who should cash reparations go to?
Let them answer, please. The lineage is fine. So that's
Foundational Black American lineage.
Reparations for foundational Black Americans only. Sure.
Now, see, he's trying to brush him off. When he was at the Historical Society, in Brooklyn, that's not what he said.
Nope.
But you see, sure, just trying to brush him off.
Can I add something else to that, Sister Keisha, real quick?
Go ahead.
So I wasn't there at the Brooklyn Historical Society, but that's not what he said in Brooklyn either. So when he got up in that Brooklyn, in that church in Brooklyn, at the hearing,
we met his wife.
In front of his wife.
Yep.
He got up there and has been singing the same song he's been singing, which every other Pan-African sings the same damn thing. Let's get it first, then we figure out who it goes to, which makes no goddamn sense. That's just the Pan-African way of saying, let's just get it for everybody, and then it'll be too late, so it just goes to everybody. While they already know that it can never go to everybody, even if we wanted it to go to everybody. So it's just a circular fool's errand that they want to run with our justice claim. But one of the biggest reasons why they want to do that is because, we asked a constitutional lawyer that was a Caribbean when they had the hearing at not a hearing, but when they was trying to get the governor to sign it at Medgar Evers College. They said they want to use our reparations claim as the landmark decision or the landmark case to potentially overturn the ban on race-based policies. That is their mission. That's what they want to do. They want to play games with our justice claim so they can open up the racial door for all immigrants to come. That's their goal.
Non-FBA want to be like white women to civil rights.
Bingo.
I think there's structural things that have to be done as well.
It's always maybe.
Let them answer, please. Let them answer, please. No. I'm just gonna say I want her to be able to protest and not in the issue. If you continue the application, they're gonna take it.
Hundreds of Ghanaians crossed the border into Burkina Faso and killed soldiers and civilians and still their lives.
and they're selling
I'm
in
trying
places
to
like
make sure y'all
Kamala,
continue
and
are
they
able to
steal
protest.
everything from them.
If you're using
Hundreds of
amplification,
Ghanaians
they're
crossed the
probably
water
going to take
to
it.
murder
That's all I want.
in
What you
Burkina
mean
Faso,
probably?
alongside with terrorists.
Okay, I understand.
Yo, they sent you over here to be the plantation protector. So you just came with a random rule?
No, I came to speak to you when I came.
With a random
I'm
rule.
trying to mediate. I understand. I'm trying to mediate. I came over to
No,
speak.
he's being the plantation
Can I talk?
protector.
I came to speak. On my way to speak, they had a conversation with me. That's all.
Who had a conversation with you? The overseers, the plantation owners, and they said, hey, go get those
That's
niggas
not
under
at all.
control.
I'm actually talking on the mic right now, bro.
Do you see the Black Americans murdered in Ghana? This is only just a few of them. I don't even have all their faces. Naomi was just slaughtered last year.
This is what Brooke is talking about. She just jumped in. You know, this is a provocateur. I don't like stuff like that.
She was pissing me off. You hear me? Every time she opened her mouth, she's talking about people being unalived in Burkina Faso. That's not my business. So let me ask a question. If that happened, right? If Ghana sent soldiers into Burkina Faso, where are the Burkina Fasoans to protest against him for what he's done and him being here at the UN and being treated like a king? Where are they? Where are the Ghanaians to protest how they are being treated by their own freaking president? Where are they? Nowhere to be found. So shut up. Ma'am, I know you've been traumatized, but that's not why we're here. We don't have nothing to do with that. I don't want nothing to do with that. And you know what? Nobody else does either. And that's why you see me on the mic as much as I was, because like I said, I had to keep her off the mic. Then she tried to be like, oh, let me get it. Devon had me laughing, talk about it. I was like, I didn't even know. I shook my head and said, no, I just wasn't letting her get the mic. And you don't bully. Let me tell you something. I already let you know. I don't let myself. Don't nobody bully me. I don't care. You might be bigger than me. You ain't gonna bully me though. So guess what? Guess who didn't get the mic no more, especially after I seen that.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
I had a whole conversation with Jumaane Williams that you couldn't even hear or see because she blocked the sun.
She's probably what they call an agent provocateur.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think she's working with anybody. This is her personal goal.
Some of them do that.
Like I said, I'm not here to call her no name. She's been through her own trauma, whatever. Like I said, I think this is her personal. I don't think anybody sent her. I don't think she's working for anybody. I don't think any of that. I think that she has her own personal mission at hand, and I don't have nothing to do with that shit. And neither did anybody else that came out there have anything to do with that shit. So you know, I'm not, like I said, you know, I'll go but so
she
far.
used this opportunity to do her own thing
because nobody else was supporting her on what she came out there for.
Right.
Nobody else did.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like I said, you got people that are bona fide agents of the state, and you got other people that are agents of the state of their own mind. And I think that's
right.
what she was. This
that
is
was
what
my
she
point.
Yeah, that's
Thank
what
you,
she had
brother.
on her mind. This is what she was ready to do, and this was her moment. She was ready for her close up.
That's right.
And that's it. Like she was steadfast. You know, no shade, or what they say, no shade, no tea. She was like a dog with a bone. Like she knew what she was there to do. She knew what she wanted to do. And you know, listen, the family had other plans. And this is to that point, because you know, not intentionally, but maybe because you know, sometimes Sister Brooke do be throwing shade. But you know, she's sitting up here trying to make us sound like we was some punks, like we just couldn't do nothing with you know what I'm saying? Like we was Day from Friday. And why you didn't do nothing when the big girl jumped on me? It wasn't that.
That's not what I said.
Hold on.
That's not what I said.
Let me talk now.
Whatever.
You had the mic the whole time. Let me talk.
No, whatever.
So it wasn't that, but in all seriousness, though, this is this is the beauty, right? This is the beauty of what we're building together here as a unit. I love the relationship that Brother Tad and Sister Keisha have. I only hope that, as this movement moves forward, that me and Sister Brooke have that level of a relationship as well. And I'm glad that she was able to sit here and say that, that I don't play about her, because we don't. And I don't. And, I don't play about nobody that it comes in my circle that I care about. And we care about the people that we fighting for because we family. But to that point, the reason why this thing is moving and the reason why it is moving like a well-oiled machine is because in certain situations, and I think my brother Tad can attest to this, like there are certain situations where we know we could assert ourselves, but that gender situation can cause unforeseen issues that we don't even need to cross over into, especially when it's not about that. So when you got a Sister Keisha, like Brother Tad's been down with so long, and I got a Sister Brooke that we building that relationship with, to have that feminine energy that has the fire and the fight that we need, they can check a sister like that, and the whole gender potential conversation or pothole or landmine, we just step right over it. It just is seamless. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't talk about misogyny and all the other stuff that we've seen them do, especially when we start talking about what they did with the Black Panthers and feminism at that time. And so I just love that we got warrior sisters like a Sister Brooke, and she was just able to just take control of it, and bogart the mic and do what she had to do to keep us on task and on message. And we were just able to be there to just be, the enforcer, just in case a dude got out of line, or if there was somebody else that was trying to, that was with her on that type of time, which there wasn't. She was a lone, wolf, and Sister Brooke was well within her right and with her abilities to check that and keep the train moving on schedule. And so, I just thank her for that, even though she's trying to make us seem like we some punks. We wasn't. We was just
I did not say that.
The gender divide.
Give it to him, Sister Brooke, right now.
I'm gonna say I did not say that. I felt like at the time I felt like y'all just didn't have no more to say. Like I said what I needed to say. I don't have any, like y'all didn't. I just felt like y'all didn't. Like I was pulling stuff out my behind, and I needed y'all to pull stuff out your behind too. You know what I'm saying? Like just keep talking. Say something. Say something. And so just keep talking. And I was like, I don't got nothing else to say. That's what y'all was telling me. I said everything I needed to say already. You know what I mean? So not that I felt like, what I'm saying, that y'all was some punks. I felt like y'all was just like, look, I said what I needed to say. I'm done. You know what I mean? What else you want me to say? And I'm like, no, just say anything. Shoot. Just like Melrose. You know what I mean? Melrose is like.
Shout out to Melrose Radio.
Bro, I told you that we won't vote. I told you that we won't vote. Yeah, come on, get something. God dang it. I need y'all to be on the mic. Just get her off the mic, please. Because she just kept on saying nonsense, and it was really messing up the messaging, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And I was like happy when other people wanted to come on the mic. Please give me a break. And before we move further, y'all saw me with gloves on my hands. I didn't bring no gloves. Thank you to Dawn. Dawn saved my hands because I had to tape up the signs. By the time I finished taping that last sign, my hands were done. I was so cold. And Divine gave me them hand packs, the hand warmers. He did give me some hand warmers. Yeah, but then for me to hold the mic, and that helped. That helped me get me to a good place. But then by the time it was time for me to hold the mic and the sign, my hands was done again. So she let me, we shared her gloves. She let me hold her gloves for a while. Then I felt bad. I gave them back to her. She was like, look, well, you take one, I'll take one. That way you can hold the mic and the sign or whatever. So we shared a pair of gloves. Like, do you know how much love that is? Like somebody to share some gloves with you, like that is just crazy to me. So the love that, we received. And so everywhere I go, I just want to shout out Dawn, because she was very instrumental in keeping my hands warm as I held that mic and had to give low elbows.
Marie said to tell you that you could tell by her hair she was a little crazy.
I just, like I said, that messaging was y'all. You heard what she said. Tad, you asked what she said. Now you heard it. Now what you got to think about what you heard?
I mean, let's say the people in Burkina Faso.
I'm not.
Ain't that the message?
That was her message.
Look, y'all gonna get me jammed up. They ain't gonna let me back in Ghana. They say, ain't you from Thorough Black Talk? Nah,
They
you
sure
good,
ain't.
homie. Access
Right.
denied.
That's right. Wait,
Access
I thought
denied.
can't you overrule that? Because ain't you a chief? Ain't you a chief?
Nah, I declined. I swear.
Hey, Tab, before they say it, they're gonna go.
Yeah.
So let's continue because I want everybody to know, they went to the UN the next day. And a lot of countries sided with them, but the UN, nobody listens to them. The US shut that down immediately. And we're gonna play that clip as well. So let's see what they were saying at the burial ground. Hold on.
Amongst people of African descent throughout the diaspora, as well as indigenous Africans on the continent, the collective rituals surrounding death are a communal experience. From its announcement to its recognition through ceremony. If you travel to Africa, from the top of the continent to the bottom, in most cities, towns, and villages, you will see notices of people's death. Not small obituaries in newspapers, but flyers, posters, and billboards plastered all around. Listed on them is usually a litany of names of the bereaved, not just immediate relatives, but also names of extended family members, whether local or living abroad, and tribal or community leaders. All of these people to whom the deceased belonged are listed on the obituary notices. And the funeral services are often attended by people. You're welcome.
Who the hell he talking about? Who the hell he talking about?
Yo, I was wondering. I said maybe he's gonna make the point.
Hold on. Let's see what U.S. said back. Hold on.
In addition to its obvious legal problems, this resolution is also unclear as to who the recipients of reparatory justice would be. The drafters and supporters of this resolution seem to believe it is them. The United States strongly objects to the cynical usage of historical wrongs as a leverage point in an attempt to reallocate modern resources to people and nations who are distantly related to the historical victims. The United States would also like to express disappointment in the arbitrary historical perspective of the text. Trafficking in African slaves began long before the 15th century and sadly continued even after the 19th. These dates were clearly selected for political reasons rather than historical accuracy. All trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement of Africans deserve to be condemned, not merely the political expedient. Also, there are some fake news articles suggesting that the sponsors of this resolution called into question President Trump's support of the Black community. We reject any such suggestions. Indeed, President Trump has done more for Black Americans than any other president and enjoyed historic support from the Black community in the 2024 election. He is working tirelessly to deliver for them and make our country greater than ever. Finally, we must express our deep disappointment regarding the process that led to this text. Throughout drafting, the United States and other delegations offer constructive contributions aimed at aligning the text with the established international legal frameworks. These contributions were ignored. For these reasons, the United States will vote no on this resolution. Thank you.
Like, who you trying to connect yourself to, he saying?
Yeah, sis, and I want you to touch on this because I've seen a lot of people celebrating that the U.S. did vote against it. But of course, they don't have the information. They're celebrating, yeah, so how you FBA feel now in America? But it sounds like he pretty much explained people are trying to tether themselves on. Am I hearing that correctly? Is that what he's saying? That people are writing this bill for other nations where things haven't happened by us to them? Like, I'm just lost. Clarify
Brother
that.
Tad, it's like this. So, see, and this has been said on this show numerous times, not just by myself, but others. And if you don't share the sentiment, it's fine as well. But President Trump made me feel proud to say that I'm just an American. That's it.
Right.
Without having to defend it or say it's right or it's wrong, I'm just an American. And proof of that is seeing all these, them palm-colored folks getting unalived by federal troops for minor stuff like we do, like we've been so typically for so too long.
Right.
So,
No, I feel you, Black.
In that regard. Yeah,
now, I just want to remove Trump from the conversation, because people have Trump derangement syndrome. Outside,
you guys are right about that.
People act like Donald Trump was the worst president we ever had. Like slavery happened under his administration. We forget about Reagan's and the Bushes and the Nixons and the Abraham
and the Jackson and the Johnson.
Yeah,
and all of them.
But see, we have to peel back the layers because we know people aren't as intelligent as they like to think they are. And many of them don't humble themselves to be students or even have the wherewithal to learn to pivot when you get new information. A lot of these people who act as scholars are suffering from cognitive dissonance because here we're talking about what's going on in real time. Brother Devon, Sister Brooks, Sister Keisha are fighting hard on the front line in real time. And even with current events as to which they're very active in, which will soon be history. As I always say, we making history as we speak right now. You know what I'm saying? How would this reflects in the annals of history? And I'm watching people celebrate a perceived loss, because this is not a big loss. This is maybe a little hiccup, maybe a minor setback for now. You know what I'm saying? But why would you celebrate your folks not getting their just due if you say that you're so pro-Black? But so anti-FBA, the contradiction in itself. And I promise you, I don't engage people on social media with this. I'm not going to argue about who I am. Mm-hmm. Prove to me that I'm other than. Prove it to me. You making a claim is the same in court. The prosecutor got to state his case, not the defendant. Mm-hmm. So I just find it so ironic when people are celebrating that the U.S. wouldn't vote in favor of reparations, but now I didn't see them put context as to why they didn't support it. And they didn't support it because of the tethers jumping in the line. Like, yo, you don't got a nickel in this quarter, so what you got your hand out for? Mm-hmm. But I digress, because again, I'm here as a humble student, just stating my opinion from observation. So, Sister Keisha, if you want to,
Now let's hear what Mayor McMonkey said. Ma'am Downey. Hold on.
Thank you to the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, for hosting today's wreath laying. Ghana is a nation that holds deep meaning for me. My father gave me the middle name Kwame after Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, a leader who fought for freedom.
Williams, I saw you earlier. You don't speak for us because you don't have our blood. Al Sharpton, you have our blood, but you still don't speak for us. You are a shakedown artist, a preacher without a church. You don't speak for us.
Oh, yeah.
Who else? Is that Clark?
Yeah,
you might have been voted in, but you wasn't voted in by us, and you don't speak for us. And that's why we're going to make sure that you lose all these extra bodies that you putting on the.
So that you can hear, if you were listening when Mandami was speaking, that those two videos were happening at the very same time.
Mm-hmm.
That was you in the background, sis?
That was me in the background. You can hear, and when he gets quiet, you can hear me go, "You don't speak for us." Melrose sent me that video, by the way. He the one caught that. Matter of fact, Melrose and Dawn, the two clear videos of me, they're the ones who took those videos because everything else I was eclipsed.
Let's hear some clips from what the family is saying. Let's see what the people are saying. We just online. We ain't doing nothing. But go ahead.
To the family, before I even get started, I am still numb. I left the dentist, so excuse the left side of my face. But I just wanted to get on here and share my deep gratitude that I have for our loved ones. our family in the New York area, the tri-state area, who were up there in Lower Manhattan at the Negro Burial Grounds, which we know reclassification, the Lenape ancestors, the Lenape tribe, which we know again was renamed an African burial ground. We're not going to get into all the reasons why. Obviously, we know history, and we know that the indigenous melanated people here keep getting destiny swapped for spiritual gain and financial gain. Okay, this is a major part of the matrix. A major part of the matrix is the original man and woman akin to the soil. So I thank the family who went up there, who poured libations, who stood ground, just to let people know that we are no longer going to stand on the sidelines and watch our ancestors, not just our ancestors, the descendants, ourselves, sit and sabotage of what was left for us. Sit with our reclassified names, these narratives that do not belong to the melanated man and woman and child who.
Some backstory, because we gotta show love for Melrose. Let me tell you how bad Melrose is. I think this was maybe last year or earlier this year. Brother Devon can clarify for me. But Dr. Coachman, this is the same site, the burial ground. Listen to what the Pan-African December 12th suckers was saying and how they try to get rough. Sit your old ass down. Melrose would have been wrong if he would have knocked them out cold. These y'all Pan-African buddies. Hold on. This is Charles Barron. This is Wife Inez. D12 folks. Hold on.
We're in this reparation movement for over 30 years. Not these new kids on the block, but those who've been in the movement for over 30 years. We said we want these organizations to pick at least two members of that commission each. So two members of that commission
you ain't do
would be
nothing?
coming
You
from
ain't handled
these
no business
groups.
in 30 years.
And then these
How you here for
groups,
30 years and
we
you
would
ain't
have
handling no
6
business?
members, 6
How you here for
members
30 years
of
and you
the
ain't handling no
commission.
business?
If we give it, y'all look this way, they can handle that. Look this way over here. They can handle that.
I'm not.
No,
You're
juice.
disrupting.
We are experienced. We know how to do security. We know how to demand respect at our rallies. So we will take care of that. Don't give it any attention. Because they can't have their own rallies and gather their own people so they kind of.
Yeah. No, just keep talking. No, just keep talking. We came out here.
Reverend Coachman, U.S. Freedmen's Project. Here she goes.
That's right.
It was just me and you. Okay. We were the only ones out here at this rally for reparations, where they basically almost jumped me.
Oh yes, okay.
I'm always almost getting my ass kicked by like the whole group. I show up and everybody's like, "Yo, who invited this nigga?" And like they was like, "Who invited this nigga?" Right. But I met this beautiful lady and young lady and say your name again.
Reverend Phyllis Coachman.
Reverend Phyllis Coachman, the lovely. And she was like, "Oh, damn, this brother, he's on code, but I got to help him." She pulled me to the side and she saved me, y'all, because they was out here talking about, what were they talking about? You tell the people.
Well, actually, they were really talking about reparations for all people of African descent. He said, it doesn't matter when you came over here to this country.
Yes.
We all were enslaved somewhere, so you deserve reparations.
And are we against all African people getting reparations? Definitely not.
For other people getting it, like CARICOM.
Absolutely.
For Caribbeans to get it in their different Caribbean
And that's
countries.
beautiful, and we
And
support
think it's
them.
good, but we said we support you, but please don't stop us from getting ours. This is our country, this is our government, and we have our ancestors. They shed their blood and they worked, and we built this country. So why should we let everyone else that come in here because they're melanated get our reparations? It's morally good. Lineage-based reparations.
Exactly.
It's morally right. You see my sign? Lineage-based reparations now. get reparations right for American freedmen. And when they saw the signs, they were like, "What are you doing here?"
And that was before I arrived,
Right.
correct?
What are you doing here?
All right, so they were terrorizing this poor lady.
I said, "I'm just here with my signs." I said, "I'm just here to tell my truth."
And what did you observe when I showed up?
When you showed up, it was like, "Well, what you doing here? Who are you?"
And was I bothering anybody? Did I say anything?
You made a few statements, and they was like, "Well, what you doing here? You don't belong here."
I believe I made a statement when he started talking about we've been doing this for 30 years.
Yes, right.
And then I said, well, if you've been doing it for 30 years and you ain't getting nothing done, it's time to step aside and let us ride and let us put in this work.
That's right. And I'm with the U.S. Freedmen Project.
Shout outs to the American U.S. Freedmen Project. And once again, we had, shit.
Shout out to the U.S. Freedmen Project.
Can I give some context to that?
Go ahead, brother.
So we were just it's funny, we were just talking about this moment tonight as an org because we were discussing, some of the appearances that we made, myself and Sister Brooke on Afro Elite and Black Alpha Network. And so, and this is just the power of this movement, how long we've been in it, and just what we've been able to build. That moment is 3 years ago, what you're looking at.
Wow.
Yeah, that was 3 years, like 2 to 3 years ago. Let me just in case somebody tried to come and say he was lying up there. It's either 2 or 3 years ago. I believe it's 3. And at this point in time, we didn't know who Melrose was. We didn't know him from nobody. And we had discussed going down to this press conference because at this time, and so this is funny because he's talking about how they've been in the game for 30 years and Melrose is letting them know, hold on, if you've been around for 30 years and you ain't got nothing done, you need to make way for these people that you call new kids on the block. Here's what's funny about that statement is that at that moment in time, the reason why they're having that rally is because this new kid on the block alongside the family had already destroyed the Pan-African bill they were trying to get passed, where they was going to have carte blanche over what reparations was going to be and who it was going to go to. See, Charles Barron is the author of that unethical bill that had Narcan and Cobra, IBW 21, and the December 12th movement written into the bill so that they would have full control over the commission, regardless of whether they had public hearings or not. They would have been able to make whatever decisions they decided on. And one of the foundations of their reparations framework and concept is a essential slush fund where they control all the monies that are ever doled out, and then they dole it out however they see fit to whoever they see fit it should go to. And so that is kind of what sparked and kind of birthed the U.S. Freedmen Project, because we was like, oh no, hold on, what is this? We can't allow this. And here's what's crazy. Even in our bill, this just kind of goes to show you, even when they talk about, they mention Trump. I know we don't go too far deep political because we not, especially for myself and our organization, we nonpartisan. So we gonna work whoever got the tangibles.
Right.
We ain't going no party.
Right.
But what's interesting is that all of the Democrats, right, during Trump's first term, and even on this one, Trump is a dictator, he's a fascist, he's this and that, blah, 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 blah. But as soon as Bernard was confirmed 3 years ago. But meanwhile, when Biden and Kamala was running the country like dictators for illegal aliens, none of those people that were against fascists and against dictators was saying anything because everybody's cool as long as they're the dictator in charge. And when it's their side, they cool. When you ain't got no morals and when you ain't got no principles. You don't oppose fascism. You just oppose when the other side gets to be a fascist. If it's you cool. I'm saying that to say this: the U.S. Freedmen Project has always and will always, on my watch, have the principles. Because when we wrote the bill, we didn't just say, you know what, it should only be the U.S. Freedmen Project. It should only be organizations that agree with us that get on this commission. We didn't do that. Because we believe, for better or for worse, it should be the community. It should be the lineage that decides who gets it, who decides these decisions, and who sits on these commissions. Not us. We don't decide that, but they're not like that. They are okay as long as they're the ones that get to be the dictators. And so we got that bill trashed, got them thrown out the bill, and then they're having this conference because they were trying to lobby favor with the governor to get the unconstitutional bill passed, which we know did pass. But we sent Reverend Coachman down there because, again, like they always do, they have these in the middle of the day during work hours. At that time, I wasn't hurt, so I couldn't just show up. I had to go to work. So we didn't know if we were going to have anybody down there. And Reverend Coachman was like, well, I'll go. So she got on the ferry from Staten Island, showed up, and showed out. And it just so happened.
Gotta give it to her.
Right. On her own, dolo. Like you said, you know what? I'm going to go stand for the lineage. She said, I made signs. I got 2 of them. Nobody else is going. I'm going to hold both of them. And we was like, okay, cool. So she took those on the ferry. You understand me? And carried them all the way down to the burial ground. And for those that know, that ain't no close walk. It ain't far, but it ain't close. So she walked her way down there, and Brother Melrose was either already there or arrived later. And this is how the ancestors work. Because if anybody knows Charles Barron, he has done some good work. But when he feel like getting on his bully-ish, and he feel like he can bully somebody, he gonna try it. And
please don't get me started on him.
Right, we're not going to. Let me not do it. But the bottom line is, the ancestors sent Melrose there to protect Reverend Coachman, and then Reverend Coachman, to Brother Melrose's admission, she was then able to stand in the gap so that they didn't jump him because she still had that elder. And it's just, man, it gives me chills how they sent them to cover each other. And full circle moment, which we didn't get to, and I hope, I don't want to take Sister Brooke shine, but full circle moment. Reverend Coachman comes down there on Tuesday. We already in our positions to be the agitators and the disruptors. Reverend Coachman comes and she walks on the other side of the street, just so happened to walk on the other side of the street, and she walks right into the burial ground procession, like into the process, into what they're doing, the event. And so she sees us, then she comes across the street and she's like, what's going on here? We've full disclosure, they always got to check me and rein me in, even though they've let me lead, they always rein me in if they see fit. And she's like, well, what's going on? She's like, y'all being disruptors out here? I was like, well, listen, this is not a U.S. Freedom Project event. I'm here as a private citizen. You see what I'm saying? I was like, so we got to do what we got to do. I was like, but, you don't have to be over here if you're not comfortable. So she said, no, I was already over there. So I said, oh, shoot, Reverend Coachman, then go back. Like, we gonna work this inside and out then. And so we was able to give her the disaggregation materials. She already had materials about the organization. And so you don't see her in any of the videos, but as we are the soundtrack, she on the inside passing out the mixtapes. You understand what I'm saying? She in there as the street team. And because that happened, just everything in divine order. The event ends. We did our thing. We did what we came to do. Everybody starts going across the streets because we're like, we gotta undo this bad juju. We gotta undo whatever voodoo they try to put on us, whether it was tree of forgiveness, whatever they tried to do over there. Sister Brooke went over there first, so she didn't really realize. And so I was telling her, because she said, y'all messed it up for me. And I was like, no, as soon as you cross the streets, the feds came. You see what I'm saying? And so in true fashion, like she said, it is what it is. We know what the risks are in this work or whatever the case is. I already saw them coming for her. So barefoot and all, I hopped my ass over there. I was like, no, I see them coming for her. I gotta play my position now. She handled the big back. I gotta handle the thunder backs. You understand me? Whatever comes with that. So I'm between her and the feds, and they like, well, I'm just gonna go to pray. And one of them was already on the inside. And they started coming toward her, like block her. And it was like, no, you can't go in there. She's like, just to pray? And they're like, no. And it was like, all of y'all are part of the protests. So you can't go in. Because today was supposed to be closed. It was just open to those that were a part of the event. And man, look at God and look at the ancestors. because Reverend Coachman, according to them, was a part of the event. They didn't know. They didn't know she was a double agent for the ancestors. They didn't know. So Reverend Coachman took the black candle from Sister Brooke, you know what I mean? Like it was the stash, you know what I'm saying? Sister Brooke passed like she was the plug, and Reverend Coachman walked up in there with all her Jesus juice and prayers that our ancestors have prayed since we've been praying. She took that black candle in there, which absorbs all negative spiritual energy. And Reverend Coachman, as the family was pouring libations from over the gate, went in there and prayed the same prayers that many of our ancestors probably prayed since they've been praying. And she single-handedly undid all the things that they tried to do. And it was just, I mean, when I say divine order, how things just happen and you can't plan it no better than, we didn't plan that. We didn't know anybody was going to be able to go over there. Remember, there's dignitaries in it, like Brother Black said. So we didn't even know if it was open to anybody from the public or if everybody had invite only, because a ceremony like that, you know, that's what they kind of do to kind of be able to patrol the area. But the ancestors had other plans. And Reverend Coachman, the same Reverend Coachman that got protected by Brother Melrose at the burial ground, walked on that burial ground and turned and turned that whole thing around. And she put the sacredness, that sacred energy, that Majora spirit back on our ancestors in real time. In real time. Before they could close the gate on us, she was already in. She was the ram in the bush. Understand? The ram in the bush. Man, listen, nobody, I don't care who it is, nobody could tell me that this movement ain't touched by the ancestors and it ain't on divine timing. Nobody. When I say they just make a way out of no way, we had plans to have those candles there and pray. That was part of our plan. And the enemy was like, nah, we're not going to let you do that. But the enemy didn't even know they was going to be our biggest helper. Because they kept, not only did they keep us out, they kept out the other person that was on some other type of time, right? Which we may or may not have been able to control inside that sacred ground if we all got up in there. Who knows what she says or what she does or who she's trying to invoke the ancestor to do for. But they sent the one person in there that they already knew was on ancestor time because they already met her. She was already there standing on ancestor business 3 years ago. Man.
You can't make any plain now. Yes. Said I just watched Judge Joe Brown clapping to Brooke on the microphone. She ate. Yes, indeed. I'll send you the video, sis.
Please, yay!
I'll do that. Also, shout out to Magnetic Peace Tyson, our brother from another mother, for real. Yeah. But in the back channels, the next time you talk to Brother Tad,
okay,
you ask him what happened when Mr. Barron was in close quarters with me. Now I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay.
The Pink Panther. He called himself, I used to be a Black Panther, Pink Panther. Yeah. Out of here, man. So you asked, but I'm going to play this last clip because the family from all over the country is in full support. You know, we still going viral, especially Sister Brooke, all over the goddamn place, whether it's X, TikTok, the Gram, whatever. And we may have to start invading Threads too pretty soon.
Right, maybe.
Because I'll tell y'all on the back channels what's been going on over there, because you know, I'll be having private conversations with people, but I'll tell y'all I see you. But told you they can't stop this freight train. It's moving full steam ahead.
I love how the FBA family handled them Africans in New York, them scratchers of the butt trying to talk about reparations and put wreaths on our ancestors' graves. I love how y'all handled that. Y'all handled that with such grace. And I think y'all should do that with all outside minorities trying to encroach. I like that word. Encroach on our shit. So, and I said that about the Sharia law shit. Like when they was doing that some do Allah bullshit, I'd have been outside bumping Fuck the Police or On Top of Cars or any hood ass song we could think of. Baby, I'd have been okay with you going out there playing any gospel music to twerking music. Like, oh, I am for those type of protests. Go play our music. Go hang out, go disrupt they shit without even being by them. Cause one thing niggas are, and they show us every time they try to turn the mic off on us. We loud. We loud. And if we loud on a loudspeaker, we loud without a loudspeaker. But I love how y'all did that. I think everybody, if you're gonna do any kind of protesting, like for real, that should be all FBAs should be protesting minorities trying to get in on our shit, and that's how we should protest it. Like, y'all mad at the motherfucking black ICE agents, but y'all aren't mad at police officers and military people. And I'm not mad at the black ICE agents. I don't want to work for anybody, but why not? My grandfather worked as a fucking guard in a penitentiary. Like, I'm not understanding y'all logic on y'all selective anger. We should be mad at ICE because they taking out minorities. We should be mad at ICE because they taking out minorities. That's not a problem for us. We're not minorities. So why should that be our issue? Like, ICE can have all the minorities they want. But anywho, I love how FBA protested in New York. I love how y'all standing on business. Y'all look so fucking good. Every day, I am more proud of y'all. I like how y'all came together and told Tyreek to get 19 keys, bitch ass, out the movie, even though it's going to be an inconvenience. But he like, fuck it. I'm riding with the family. The family paid for it. That's why he's not a leader. He's an example, bitch, but he's not a leader. He's a great example of how FBA should be riding. And we riding like that because y'all look so good. Oh my God. Oh my God. I wore the perfect outfit today. I don't know if you can see it. My shirt say no, but I got plenty of hearts on my pants, boo. No love. No love. Ain't nobody getting no love today. Oh my God. I love you, FBA. Y'all get all my love though. Y'all are beautiful. Y'all looking good doing what you're doing. Continue doing what you're doing. And I like how you doing it.
Oh, that was so sweet. Oh man. Yeah, that did.
You know, well, Sister Brooke, Brother Tan, Brother Devon already know how I felt about that 19 keys dude.
We sure do.
I said, with the I Dream hats, I'm not with that. I'm not with that. I'm not into it. Doing too much talking, too much slicking and slurping other words. No, I can't do it. But again, when you see Brother Tad in person, or you call him on the phone, you ask him what happened in close quarters. And I know some people like that dude. But he been chilling. Been getting things off the top. You know, Brother Peace put it in the chat. You missed it, you missed it. So, I don't care. So tonight, we about to get up out of here next week, because this ain't it. We got to talk about what happened. How did the burial ground get uncovered? Some people say, why y'all call it the Negro Burial Ground? Because that was the first name. That was the first name. So you're going to see some of the meetings that took place at Trinity Church. You're going to see some of the Pan-Africans who were involved.
No, I can't wait for that too.
I can't wait to learn
We
this
go back
history.
to 1992. All right?
Okay.
So we're going to play that next week. I promise y'all that. And probably we're going to get into the law of birthright citizenship because I couldn't do it today. So, Sister Marcia, your final thoughts and commentary. Let's get these people up out of here. Think she frozen.
Yeah, she frozen.
Go ahead, Brother Black.
Okay, not much to say. Beautiful show once again. Welcome back, Brother Tad, again. If Sister Marcia come back on, I'm gonna make it quick. Hopefully she'll be back on before I finish. But anyway, just a lovely show always. I'm learning so much in observing this, and thank y'all for the education, because it makes me feel like, again, like I said, if I can't call myself anything, an American, and it's a beautiful way to fit in with people who know what time it really is, and are, you know, after what's owed to you and then some. So I'm glad to know y'all, and it's been a very educational show for me. I'm not going to say too much. I just want to say this. I believe overseas, up in Europe, Asia, where the wars are all happening, Israel, Ukraine, blah, 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 Russia, and all the rest, and us, Iran now. It's just distraction while a lot happens behind the scenes. I don't know if y'all been hearing, there been a lot of meteors hitting the earth. One crashed a roof in Ohio, I believe, and another one in Texas. There's another one coming. It might not hit, but it's close. So just watch out for all these things, because the sun's frequencies, the moon, the celestial events that are still happening that we don't even talk about no more, because pretty much talking about war, the Epstein files, on and on and on. Just keep your head on the swivel. We'll see you next week on The Bridge. It's been a lovely show. Love it. FBA all the way. Keep it going. One love. Next up, peace.
Sister Brooke, your final thoughts and commentary. Let's get the folks up out of here.
I think I said a lot. I don't really have much to say. I will say this. When I sent the video to my mother was like, be careful. See, you know, she didn't have that same, you know, energy like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Oh, wow. Nah, she just like, oh, be careful. There's a lot of crazies out there. I said, Ma, I am the crazy. She was like, all right. You know what I mean? So my poor mom, she be so concerned about me, you know, but, you know, thank God I didn't go out there, and I told her I was not alone. You know what I mean? I just want to thank everybody again. I want to thank the family for their donations, like I said, because I don't even think twice about paying for parking. I don't think twice about, you know, how I'm going to afford a rental car. I didn't have to rent a car these past couple of times because everything was kind of local, but I did have to pay for, you know, a ridiculous Manhattan prices and congestion pricing, tolls, and you know what I mean? But I didn't have to worry about none of that. And so I just want to thank the family for all the help that they have been giving us. And sometimes I take the donations and I bought a couple of books. That same book, Sister Keisha, the Brooklyn book, the Brooklynites, the historic, they had that book used on Amazon. I bought a couple of me and President Divine with the donations that the family gave me. So I'll be buying books sometimes with the donations, especially if I can get them cheap. Oh, it's not showing it. Huh? I'm gonna be honest with you, they only had 2, I think, used. Like, so that I got a good price on it. I think I paid $7 each book. It was like $6.95. I got that book for. So so I'll buy books or whatever, sometimes with the donations, books that I feel that are really, really important. And so I want to thank you guys for the donations that you guys have been sending. I really appreciate that. You know, like I said, I'm able to pick up Sister Keisha when we have things like that, because I don't like her getting on the train. You know what I mean? I would go pick her up, drop her off. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So like I thank y'all very, very much. I thank you for the love that you guys have shown me. I can't wait to see that that Judge Joe Brown, whatchamacallit, because I love Judge Joe Brown. I've learned so much from Judge Joe Brown. So to hear that he even know who I am is going to be very interesting to me. And I'm very curious to see what he has to say about, you know, what I said. So I'm very curious. So thank you so much for letting me know about that. I'm always humbled by how much appreciation the family shows me for the words that I use. You know what I'm saying? And I will continue to listen to the ancestors and let them speak through me. And I hope that you'll continue to be to feel that I'm representing you well, because that is important to me, that I represent the family well wherever I go. And I'm floored, you know, and I'm humbled, and I can't say Dawn. I want to say thank you to Dawn for those gloves, like stuff like that, like little stuff like that. You don't know, she don't know. I don't know if she understands how much that meant to me. Because I had on layers upon layers upon layers and didn't bring no gloves. What was I thinking? So, like, you know, and they were really nice gloves too. I got to ask her what kind of gloves they were, because they were very warm. I want a pair myself. So yeah, I just want to say thank you. I want to say, you know, thank you to Brother Tad and Sister Keisha for teaching me all that you have, because, you know, I feel like I have so much history, and knowledge of history with these people, that when I know who to confront, and I know, you know, who I might like give a little pass to, you know what I'm saying? And that I know what's best. I want to thank President Divine for helping me with my media presence, because, you know, sometimes I can be a bit too fiery, and sometimes Sister Keisha and Brother Divine and Dan is another one that's helping me with my media presence. You guys are like helping me to, like, you know, do better. You're just making me a better person in doing this work. And I want to thank you guys, and also put my mom in there too, like, because she's been trying for so long. She probably feels like it didn't take, but she's been trying so long to rein me in. And so I got to put my mom in there too. So I just, man, okay, I'm done now. And send those emails. Send the emails. Send the emails. You know, that's always going to be the end of everything, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Send the emails.
Mr. Brooke. Just
yes, please send those emails. They are working.
Yes.
Over 100,000 sent so far. Share it with your family. You know, more than one person in the house. Yes. If brothers who are on death row can make it their mission, you know, the last thing they do before they leave this earth was to send those emails. What's your excuse? What's your excuse? And Sister Brooke, you know, I have to give Brother Tad kudos too, because he had to rein me in too. You know, ask him when you see him what happened in Boston. I'm just going to leave it at that. Sister Marcia, and then we'll go to Brother Divine. Your final thoughts and commentary.
Well, I would just love to say thank you for your service, family. You know, it does take time, dedication, and energy to go out there, to stand in the cold, to just represent on the thing that matters most to you. The other tidbit that I wanted to add, you know, everyone is focusing on the 3 countries that said no flat out. But let's not forget the 54 countries or 52 countries that abstained, like France, like Spain. You know, all the 132 countries are, a lot of them, I'll say 75% of them, are countries that have been colonized by the countries that have abstained. At least someone said no clearly, you know? And so we just need to be really clear about these things when we're talking about repair and the harms that were done and the people that did the harms, because there are a lot of countries that said, I don't care. And I'm not saying no, I'm just leaving it blank. And that's a narrative as well. So with all of that said, I want us to stay strong. I want us to do the best that we can with everything that we have and all our might. May time flourish for us all. And if time may not, we fight for it. And we see how the good fight looks like, you know. Brother Divine, good President, Brother Divine went out there. Good Sister Brooke went out there to show us what a good fight looks like. So keep up the good work. Thank you, Sister Keisha, for another fabulous show. And peace to everybody else in the chat and online. Brother Tad, Brother Black, love y'all all.
Love you too, sis.
Brother Devon, your final thoughts and commentary. Let's get him out of here.
Let's get him out of here. The Asante Empire, the Ashanti, Osei Tutu the First, Opuku the First, Osei Bansu, the Fonte Confederacy, Omonu Kuma, John Cabes, the Akwamu Empire, Ansu Sasraku II, Asameni. Other notable states, Dankira, the Boa Amposem, Dagomba, and the Gonja chiefs. All those names are of the tribes / empires and the kings of Ghana that were slave traders. And so when we talk about that vote that Sister Marcia was just talking about, this is when you find out why the messenger matters. Because when you have a country that was complicit, that was a part of the slave trading conglomerate, you don't get an accurate vote. You don't get a vote that you can accurately assess. Because who said yes and who said no on the merits when the country that brought the resolution is also part of the guilty party? If somebody robbed my house with an accomplice, but the accomplice turns around and robs them, you better not come back to my house talking about he robbed both of us. No, y'all robbed me. And now I'm about to get back what y'all took out you. That you don't got what I need. And this is the problem that we were talking about. Like Brother Tad just said. And this is, again, I know, if y'all know me well, y'all know I always go here, but it's because this is what needs to be said, and repetition is the mother of all learning. How many Pan-Africans were amongst those people cheering that the United States voted no on this resolution? Not because they believed it furthered or was a detriment to the reparations movement, but to spite foundational Black Americans. What kind of movement for unity is that? How could we ever partner with you on anything substantial, on anything minor, on deciding to buy something from the corner store? I can't trust you for shit. If you would side with any oppressor, European or Ghanaian, to cheer on something that you view as detrimental to our justice claim, how dare you? While giving cover to the actual slave traders that you should be against if you're for unity, regardless of how you feel about us. If you're just for African unity, how dare you cheer on and celebrate a slave trading empire that became a slave trading country that still treats descendants of the enslaved in their countries like shit, like the African untouchables? The delineation movement and this foundational Black American Renaissance, man, it is exposing everybody, like Cat Williams told Uncle Shay Shay. See, there's only two sides. It's God's side and everybody else. I know what side I'm on. And I know what side this movement is on. You got to decide what side you on. Or it's going to get decided for you based on the actions you decide to take. And so here's the rub, though, and I want to read this to you because Sister Annette Wilcox from the U.S. Freedom Project, another one of the aunties that Sister Brooke be shouting out, she did something really profound because she went to the event they had yesterday because they had a celebration party. All the Pan-Africans, past and present, the December 12th movement, Ron Daniels, IBW 21, Narcan and Cobra. And what we found out is that there's a conglomerate of new up-and-coming Pan-Africans called the New Yorkers for Reparations Coalition. They are the stand-in, the understudy for the current Pan-Africans that are advocating for racial reparations. That's why
that was bad wig.
Yeah, right. That's why they keep getting platformed at these events. And they were the co-hosts of that event yesterday that Sister Annette and Sister BX went to. And in that event, they were championing Ghana. Not one time did they mention any of the slave trading conflicts of interest. Not one time did they stand for the actual ancestors that could have been sold by those same Ghanaian empires. So when we talk about the criticisms of Pan-Africanism, this is why. Because the hypocrisy is blatant at this point. It is undeniable. And Sister Annette, after going to that event, ran the resolution through ChatGPT. And I just want to read real quick the findings. Here's what ChatGPT had to say after analyzing it. Unbiased, by the way. Key takeaways, reading between the lines. Strong moral language, weak enforcement. There's no enforcement mechanism, no court authority, no compensation mandate, no legal liability framework. It's recognition, not restitution law. Broad framing of descendants refers generally to descendants of enslaved Africans. We don't know who that is. Carefully negotiated neutrality avoids naming African complicity, avoids assigning direct state liability. Footnote, this is typical of UN diplomacy to secure votes. Bottom line, in plain terms, the resolution says slavery of Africans was one of the worst crimes in human history. Its effects still exist today, and countries should acknowledge this and take steps toward repair. But nothing is legally required. See, and this is the conversation I was having when we went and did the event with the elders with Sister Brooke in Queens. There was a brother there that was a part of the Durban movement that went, when they did the Durban thing, and they were citing the We Charge Genocide by Paul Robeson. And this is not an indictment of our foundational Black American icons, but it is to illuminate and let the family know why the U.S. Freedom Project and the modern reparations movement don't even deal with the UN in that way when we're talking about justice. It is empty symbolism. Nothing came from charging genocide. Nothing tangible came out of that Durban conference. Why? Because the United States is that chick on the reality TV shows. And the United States looks at the UN and says, who gonna check me, boo? Who? You? You're not gonna bust a grape. You can't get in this fight. And y'all know I love the movies. The United States of America is show enough in the movie theater. Who gonna come down here and make me? You don't like what I'm saying? Come make me shut up. Who coming down here? Nobody. And so when the U.S. said no, that's the only no that, matter of fact, it ain't even the only no. The U.S. vote is the only vote that mattered. And so when they said no, though that resolution passed, it's a no. Full stop. But to Brother Tad's question, I'll end my submission here. Here's what United States of America also said that the Pan-Africans miss because they ain't about no real justice anyway. That explanation from that American representative, he acknowledged that there's a harmed group. He acknowledged that somebody deserves and has a justice claim. He didn't tell the freedmen no. He didn't tell foundational Black Americans no. He told the Ghanaians no. And here's what he based it on. He said, you don't get to cash in on a justifiable reparations claim just because you are distantly related.
Yep.
See, when the U.S. does claims for reparations, there's going to be a very, very concisely, if that's even a word.
We're going to make it one tonight.
We're going to make it one tonight, concisely and well-defined community of eligibility. You don't get to come here and say, well, we look alike. We got of African descent. Nope. They said you wasn't harmed here, so it's no. And that's that. And so it's no for you, Ghana. It's still yes for us. And that's the fight that we've always been focused on. And now we can let them go and celebrate that empty symbolism, talk about all the countries that voted yes with them, or whatever else they want to talk about. The bottom line is we gonna get back to work like we never left it because we didn't. We got a very specific justice claim based on lineage and based on harm. And this country has a long track record of giving reparations based on lineage and based on harm. So buckle up, family, because we getting back in that driver's seat like we never left because we did it, and we moving full steam ahead. And on that, I land.
Bro, Tad, can you go after this, man? Can you?
Yeah, I'm about to. And first of all, I don't know if you're having a wardrobe change or it's the man. Then you have on a red Dallas shirt. Now you from Detroit. Getting your D's confused, brother. Black, this is not a hip hop concert, all right?
I'm putting on Denver next time just for you.
Well, I'm glad we going off tonight. Right? But I truly appreciate you, Sister Keisha, Sister Brooke, Sister Marcia. Love the feminine energy, my brother Black, even though you that troublesome brother that gets everybody in trouble with your shenanigans. Still love you, bro.
Y'all the Brooklynite trouble-lights. Come on, no, stop it.
And my young brother Divine. And shout out to everybody in the chat, everybody who's rocking out with us, you know, all the usual suspects. I truly appreciate the work that y'all are doing, Sister Brooke, Brother Divine, Sister Keisha, because this is so necessary. And as I always say, you know, we doing history in real time, and I like the fearlessness to not approach these people, because a lot of people aren't supporters of these big names and organizations. They're groupies. They're groupies, and they don't have the testicular fortitude to challenge the status quo. Everybody was dancing and celebrating, you know, US saying no. And Brother Divine, I thank you for laying it out in its proper context, that they're not saying no to us. They're saying no to those tethers, those tethering themselves on to our situation, because I don't know what it is that our folks don't get. You know, full disclosure, the night before last, me and Brother Kaba Kamene had a dope conversation about FBA and things like that, because I see our elders being attacked, you know. And one of the things I appreciate about Kaba is he deal with the facts and the truth and the evidence that's presented. And shout out to Professor Anthony Browder, who he and I had a conversation the other day, you know, emails and texts throughout the week. You know, I'm working on some other things behind the scene, but I'm grateful for the elders who can pivot, who are still receptive to get information, you know, to update what it is that us as a group need to do here, as well as the work they're doing abroad, because what they're doing is their life's work. but we have to stay laser focused on what's in our best interest over here on this side of the water. So Brother Divine, Sister Brooks, Sister Keisha, I truly, truly thank y'all, because I'm grateful to be a part of this sojourn, be a part of this Black Renaissance that's happening. So when my grandchildren grow up, they can say, Grandpa, you know them? You were there? My niece, my great niece, seen a lot of awards that I have at home. And she's like, Uncle Tad, where'd you get all these awards from? And I said, things that I do in the community, because I genuinely care about our community, you know, and that's what my legacy will be. That's what y'all legacy will be, because we're doing what our ancestors couldn't achieve, but through their spirit, we're carrying the torch that our children and our children's children can benefit from this unpaid labor, you know, restorative justice, if you will. Because sure enough, as I was talking to the elders, we were talking about Mayat, and those who know Mayat is truth, justice, righteousness, balance, harmony, and reciprocity. So we have to put things back in balance, you know, and I think this is so important. So I truly thank y'all. I truly, truly thank y'all. So to the people who supporting, the people in the chat, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, have this conversation at home. If you're still fortunate enough to have your grandparents, have conversations with your grandparents about what's going on right now and what it was like when they were coming up, you know, and maybe you can learn some things about your family history, which we all know is very important. So hopefully you're inspired by something you heard here tonight. It's your turn to go out and inspire others. So y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. And remember, no matter how hard things seem right now, there's always better days ahead. Sister Keisha.
Glad to have Brother Tad back up on the Brooklyn Bridge. Send them emails. Send those emails. We appreciate y'all. We thank y'all. But I'm going to close out tonight with some words of Dr. Chancellor Williams. Because a lot of people in these Pan-African spaces like to have selective memory or just choose things that fit a particular narrative. But Dr. Williams says he didn't blame Africa's downfall only on foreign invaders. He insisted that Africans must accept responsibility for their role. Disunity, betrayal in the slave trade, weak institutions, and internal corruption. In his view, acknowledging these wrongs was the only way to rebuild strong, self-reliant nations. But people don't get it. I'm not building with nobody that took part in the slave trade, no nation, none of y'all. That's just me. I'm speaking for me. I'm not a forgiving person. I don't believe in that. Because I'll still be pissed off. So, and that memory never goes away. So why should you feel comfortable? If I'm dealing with that memory, you're going to deal with that memory. If I'm feeling a certain way, you're going to feel a certain way. And I don't care if I make you feel that way for the rest of your natural life. You understand? That's just how I'll move. So, until next week, y'all enjoy the rest of this week. Be safe and be dangerous at the same time. And as my brother Ashe used to say, true courage is knowing how to suffer. The battlefield is where you stand. We are out. Good night.
On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voices strong, knowledge tight. Thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From Brother Tad to Sister K, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcy brings the heat, Brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Thursday nights the world will see Black Power media on display. Facebook, YouTube all aligned. Social talk and politics. Every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true. For the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Social talk and politics. Every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true. For the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves.